WEEU Sports. Bob McCool, Matt Lytle with the call. We're going to kick it out to them in just a little bit for that 7 o'clock kickoff. Meanwhile, we'll take our first time out. After that, Matt will join me as we will discuss the night as we get ready for teams that will determine their playoff position, teams that will determine if they're in the playoff, and teams that might be playing football for the last time this season. It's the pregame show on the corner of 4th and Court right here on 830 WEEU. Hey, Berks County, Chick-fil-A Catering makes game day even better. Choose from a variety of trays, including Chick-fil-A nuggets, mac and cheese, and chocolate chunk cookies. Perfect for your next gathering. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app, online, or by calling ahead and pick it up at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Take cooking off your plate this football season and enjoy the perfect spread with Chick-fil-A Catering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
Back here on a Friday night, week number 10 in the high school football season. As we get you done the regular season, looking ahead, we've got the postseason beginning next week. And what we're going to do with it, we don't know. It's all going to be determined by what happens tonight. And hopefully by the end of tonight, at the end of the scoreboard show, we're going to have a good idea what is going on. Matt Knob joins the show right now. He will accompany me throughout the night as we update you with the scores at the half and, of course, on the scoreboard show. And it's a big night for Matty and I because we welcome back a friend of the show and a Hall of Famer and a gentleman who shared this microphone with us many times last season, the hottest man we know, Hot Rod Frisco. Roddy, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you doing tonight?
I just got that same energy I've always had. Matt sits across from me and says, there's a difference of 40 years in our age, and you've got more energy than me. How does that happen? I always tell him, lots of coffee.
And clean living.
Clean. Okay, we'll go with lots of coffee.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod, we got you on because, of course, you are, when it comes to playoff prognostication and guessing and projecting, you're one of the best. Can we go through a couple of scenarios with you here in the pregame show?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk about Governor Mifflin, number 12 on the outside looking in, 2 spots back. The scenario, is there one for the Mustangs to get into the postseason?
There is, but it's pretty slim and pretty grim. As I told another writer earlier this week, when you're 3-6, it's supposed to be grim. But here's what Mifflin needs in order to get in. Obviously, the win tonight over Ephrata, and they need probably 2 of 3 and maybe even 3 of 3 teams to lose: Cumberland Valley, Chambersburg, and Dallastown. It could take all 3 of them to lose for Mifflin to get in.
Did Cedar Crest clinch a spot with their win over Lebanon yesterday at number 9 now?
Yes, pretty much. I can't see anything that would dislodge them.
All right, let's go to 3A. The big one that we are following through our Adam Cook tonight is Annville, Cleona, and Berks Catholic for the Section 5 title. And what a season the Saints have had. Boy, that running back committee back there has been tremendous. But right now, Annville, Cleona sits ahead of Berks Catholic. In a either-or, win or lose, could they switch places, or can any of them drop out of 1 or 2?
I looked at this one pretty closely, and I do not think that the loser of tonight's AC Berks Catholic game will drop below 2.
Okay.
I think they're staying 1-2 regardless. Winner obviously being number 1.
Okay. Muhlenberg and Exeter in 5A. Let's go with the Mules win. Can they jump a little bit? And what happens with the Mule loss?
Well, they can jump a little bit. They're very tight with Mechanicsburg, very tight with Warwick. So depending on what happens in those games, and depending on what happens with their strength of schedule, let's say all 3 teams win: Warwick, Mechanicsburg, Muhlenberg. It is possible, based on OWP, that's the strength of schedule acronym, that Muhlenberg might be able to squeeze up one spot, and that would be displacing Mechanicsburg. But it's just as likely that will hold. Now, if they lose, what you asked there, Jeff, I think they're still, well, first of all, they're still going to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
A loss will not drop them out. It's just a matter of where they land then. And again, depending on what happens, could be as low as a 9 or 10 spot, could only end up down at 8 as well. I mean, but that depends entirely on results.
Okay, so Muhlenberg with a win solidifies a home game. A loss could drop them,
right,
put them on the road. Let's look at Exeter in the same scenarios, Rob. We just have about 90 seconds here.
Sure. Exeter, almost the same situation as Muhlenberg, not quite. First of all, I don't think they would drop out with a loss against Elizabethtown. And they could, certainly if Muhlenberg loses, they'll displace them with a win. I don't think they'll get ahead of Mechanicsburg. But Exeter could drop as low as 11, again, based on those results.
The cool thing is we have eyes on that Mechanicsburg-Shippensburg game as well with Michael Garland and the Mechanicsburg Network. Hey, buddy, you're going to join us at 11 o'clock, and we're going to recap all this, right?
Absolutely. What a great slate of Week 10 games we've got going on tonight, too.
All right. Hey, Rod, great to hear your voice again. I know the audience loves to hear it, and we will reconvene at 11 o'clock.
Very good, Jeff.
All right. That is Hot Rod Frisco, Hall of Fame writer from the Patriot News. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to wrap and pack our portion of the show, 7 o'clock, top of the hour. It is big. The video right there at 830 WEEU Sports, title on the line, Manheim Township and Wilson. And you've got us right here on the voice of Berks and Beyond, 830 WEEU.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition.
Back here, pregame show along with Matt Knob. I'm Jeff Nolan. Hey, Matt, deja vu. Just like last year, this game, Manheim Township and Wilson. Same scenario, just a different location.
Same scenario. We had this game last year, and Wilson got the better of Manheim Township down at Manheim Township. Now they're back at Gursky Stadium looking to beat the Blue Streaks again this year. We talked about a little off air, Jeff. I think this is an even matchup. 2 8-1 teams, 5-0 in league play. Could go down to the wire. We had an exciting game last week, hoping for another exciting game tonight. And I think whoever wins this game gets all the momentum heading into the District 3 playoffs. Both teams could have a bye in the first round. You don't want to go into that bye coming off a loss.
No doubt about it. And boy, they are positioned, Wilson, right now in a pretty good spot. Hey, by the way, Central York is the team that took out our friends at Manheim Township early in the year. Wilson's only loss was to Nazareth. By the way, Nazareth and Easton tonight out there in District 11. That will be one of our off-the-grid scores. All the scores and the highlights after the game on the Scoreboard Show. Matt and I will be here to provide you with that. Also, we'll update you at the half. All right. Free video, YouTube. Go to it right now. 830 WEEU Sports. For Matt Knob, for Kyle Rudart, I'm Jeff Nolan. Let's get ready to kick it out to Wilson. That's where Matt Lytle and Bob McCoolway. We'll see you at the half.
It's time for high school football. Presented by Savage Auto Group on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond.
High school sports on WEEU is brought to you in part by Chick-fil-A, Celebration Villa of Exeter, Diefenbach Snacks, the Coley Insurance Group, Keith Heating and Air Conditioning, Habitat for Humanity Restore, Overhead Door Company, Render's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, Pizza Como, Ready Fight Phil's, Savage Auto Group, Shell's Restaurant, Mini Golf and Dairy Swirl, Spots Insurance, UECU, United Way of Berks County, and Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society.
WEEU is proud to showcase the talent and skill of our local high school athletes. From every tackle to every blitz and every thrilling touchdown, we bring you the best calls and analysis. Now, live from the field, your hosts, Bob McCool and Matt Lytle.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to John Gursky Stadium in West Lawn. Tonight, it is the Manheim Township Blue Streaks and the Wilson Bulldogs as WE's coverage of high school football continues. It is week number 10, and here we are again with Manheim Township and Wilson, both teams with identical records, both overall in the season at 8-1 and in Section 1 of the LL as well, both at 5-1. This is the 55th meeting between these two programs, and as Wilson has in most of the games against the Section 1 teams, they have dominated this series, although it has become a much bigger and better series over the course of the last several years. But the Bulldogs with a 40-13 advantage in the win column in this when there had been one tie. And last year, it was the Bulldogs who came out on top of the game. You heard it here and saw it here on WEU from Nessville. The Bulldogs won it 34-16. But here we go again with Wilson and Manheim Township. It's become one of the better rivalries in the Lancaster 11 League for sure, and it's also become a Week 10 staple because of the success of these two programs. It generally ends up being for the Section 1 title, and that is the case tonight. Both teams have also already punched their ticket to the District 3 playoffs. The question will ultimately be seeding. If it ends as it does right now before Week 10 gets underway, Manheim Township has the 3 seed, Wilson has the 4 seed. Figured out. Both teams are also state ranked by Penn Live. Wilson is number 9 in Class 6A. Manheim Township is number 10. It's all on the line tonight in our final game of the regular season. High school sports, as it has been all throughout the season, is presented by Savage Auto Group on WEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. And you can watch our games and our coverage as you have been able to all through the season, and you will be into the District 3 playoffs as well. You can do it on your smart TV on YouTube at our 830 WEU Sports YouTube page. We're going to take a timeout back with our Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf pregame show from West Lawn after this.
Get your house ready to handle the extra guests, yard inflatables, and string lights. Keith HVAC, Electrical, and Plumbing has been keeping homes and businesses running smoothly for the holidays for 30 years. Plumbing, electrical, and heating systems work extra hard in the winter, so let Keith keep you cozy.
Quality you trust, comfort you deserve. Call 610-589-6461 or visit KeithHVAC.com. Get Keith HVAC, Electrical, and Plumbing for the holidays because you've got enough to worry about with the in-laws.
Hey, football fans, tackle your mornings with me, Mike Keller, along with Bob McCool and Trey Smith every weekday from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. Coming up this week on Monday at 8:05, we'll talk Birds and Giants with Sports Illustrated Eagles beat reporter Ed Kratz. Then Wednesday in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be joined by Classic Harley-Davidson's Matt Jackson to talk about the Toys for Tots kickoff celebration. And on Thursday, it's the Morning Pint brought to you by Pagoda City Brewing. The guys from Not Pizza Canned Cocktails stop by. It's Mornings with Mike, weekdays from 6 to 9, right here on WEEU.
Spots Insurance Group is a proud sponsor of Berks County sports. We're an award-winning nationwide agency you can trust, insuring what means most to you for over 32 years. We specialize in auto, home, renters, business, and life insurance. Remember, when you think insurance, think Spots. Visit us at spotsforinsurance.com. That's SPOTTS, 4, insurance.com.
Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf. Fuel up for game day with their delicious burgers, hot dogs, fried chicken, barbecue sandwiches, French fries, and, of course, ice cream. Have you and your friends got together for a gridiron battle in their 27-hole miniature golf course? Still plenty of time left before Old Man Winter sets in. Visit Shell's on the Fifth Street Highway in Temple alongside Matt Lytle. My name is Bob McCool, getting you set for tonight's matchup between Manheim Township and Wilson. And Matt, we'll talk about the Wilson Bulldogs. Doug Doms' 20th season. He's now over 200 victories. He's got that number in this season. He's the all-time winningest coach in the history of this Wilson program at 204-45. The lone loss was a game we had for you earlier this season against Nazareth, coming back in week 3 at 30-20. But the story for the Bulldogs this year had to be about what happens at quarterback because of the other pieces that were around them. There were talent pieces around Mason Young, but could the first-year quarterback step in and deliver the goods? And stepping into a very high-profile position, which is the quarterback at Wilson High School, Mason Young has answered a lot of questions over the course of this year.
He definitely has. Mason Young, he's been poised in the pocket. He's made plays with his feet. His completion percentage is a little lower compared to Manheim Township's quarterback, another senior in Kinniff, but 66.8. I'm being picky. He's thrown over 1,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He has some weapons. So when he can't find his weapons or playmakers, he does it with his own feet. So he's a guy who can hurt you on the ground and in the air, and it's going to be fun to watch tonight.
And obviously there's a wealth of knowledge around him to help him and guide him along. Between Doug Doms and the 50 years he's been here at Wilson High School as an assistant coach and a head coach, and, of course, Jeremy Palm, who was the offensive coordinator, Chad Henne, who is a volunteer assistant. He's got a ton of high school football experience to go to. But what they've all talked about was his development, because he was the guy who wanted to hit the home runs and trying to get him to work through his progressions and don't always try to hit the big play. Sometimes it's a smart play. The safe play is the right play.
Yeah, and I think there's patience needed not only from Mason Young at quarterback, but his offensive coordinator and Jeremy Palm and Chad Henne, their quarterback
he's probably
coach.
Not as good as you might have been.
They want to throw the ball.
Absolutely.
They absolutely want to throw the ball. So it's they've done a heck of a job coaching up Mason Young. There's been some great development throughout this year, and what a better game to play tonight against almost a mirror team from a stat perspective and really athlete across the ball on offense. They've got a lot of weapons. They've got Kinniff, who's a senior quarterback, throwing 70% completion percentage. Both quarterbacks are throwing over 1,600 yards again and over 20 touchdowns. So it's very similar when you look at the offenses.
Yeah, and it's a very well-coached football team on the other side as well. Mark Evans has done a great job with this program. He's taken this program from good to great. They are always now among the best teams in District 3 in Class 6A, and not surprisingly, ranked again in the state rankings as well, again by Penn Live this week at number 10. But Mark Evans is 118-44 in his time at Manheim Township after a nice run at Elko. He took Elko, which was not a football school, and made it into a very solid program in 14 years. So he's been in the Lancaster 11 League now in 28 years as a head coach, but he's done a great job with this program. They beat Cumberland Valley, Central York, York High, and Plymouth Whitemarsh in non-league games, and then they've taken care of business just like Wilson has through Section 1 of the LL. Again, both teams are at 5-0. And just like we talked about with Wilson and the loss of Maddox Gruber as the quarterback and Mason Young having to step in, lots of losses at graduation for Manheim Township from a year ago. They plug in a quarterback in Jack Kinniff, who's a Division I baseball player. He's got a great arm, but he also has been able to throw 3 touchdown passes or more 5 times in the 9 games. So, again, it's a very similar situation. Find the athletes, get the ball in the athlete's hands, and try not to make big mistakes.
Yeah, they've got the playmaker for sure coming back, returning starter in Darius Dixon. He's 5'11", 180-pound senior. Dixon's got 40 receptions for 773 yards, 19 yards per catch with 13 touchdowns. That's not too shabby, getting him the ball. Behind Kinniff is Fernandez, Myers, and Valu. Excuse me. That is, let me pronounce that correctly. That's WEEU. WEEU, who's just a hammer at fullback. But they're 3 running backs. They're 678 yards by Fernandez. Myers has 531, and WEEU's got 208. So they are very consistent through the air and on the ground. They can beat you both ways, and I think it's a very balanced attack on both sides.
Yeah, how balanced? How about in total yards per game for Manheim Township is 373 offensive yards per game. 182 of them on the ground, 190 through the air. That's about as balanced as you can get, and it's very similar to what Wilson is in most years. Not as much this year. It's close, but it's not as close in terms of sheer numbers as it has been in the past. Bulldogs are just shy of 150 yards on the ground and over 190 yards through the air so far through week 9. Whether that changes tonight, well, we will see as this game unfolds. But it's now time for us to take a look at tonight's keys to the game. They're brought to you by RE/MAX Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis. If you're buying or selling a home, Phil Macaronis is a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame with over 20 years of experience providing countless buyers and sellers keys to their real estate transactions. You can call him at 610-670-2770. Ask for Phil Macaronis for the keys to buying and selling your home. It's Week 10. It's Manheim Township and Wilson, and Matt Lytle has his keys to tonight's football game.
Bob, the Bulldogs versus the Blue Streaks. These two teams are very similar, as we were discussing. Their record suggests the same. They're both 8-1. They're 5-0 in Section 1. This is going to be a tilt at the top tonight for the conference championship in Section 1. Tonight's key will be who comes down, who's going to execute on the big plays. In a football game, you usually get 3 or 4 opportunities. Who is going to execute and be disciplined to make those plays? Both senior QBs in Young and Kinniff, they've thrown for 1,600 yards and over 20 touchdowns. They both can air it out. As always, turnovers are going to play a factor in tonight's matchup. Team that executes in all 3 phases of the game, protects the football, so minimizes turnovers, is going to win this. Who's going to be more disciplined tonight, Bob? I think who's going to be more disciplined and have assignment football and does their job. It'll be a close matchup, but be ready for the big plays and who executes.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society. They've been serving authentic homemade Italian dishes for over 110 years. New memberships are now being accepted for only $10. The facility at 311 Hazel Street in Reading is also available for rental for private parties, banquets, and celebrations. Victor Emmanuel, a taste of Italy here in Reading. Well, for the Blue Streaks, when they have the football up front protecting senior quarterback Jack Kinniff, the center is Rowan Ocker. The guards are Max Kolbrenner and Garrett Kurtz. The tackles are Jack Rook and Harrison Roach. The tight end is 6'5", 215-pound senior Luke Wagner. The receivers, they will use 4 of them in a variety of formations and situations. Matt referred to the one returning starter, and Darius Dixon is a senior. Simon Doomster, Alan Feliciano, and Chase Fletcher are the other 3 receivers along with Dixon. They will use Taylor Velu as a blocking fullback, as an H-back, call him what you want. With Marcus Fernandez as their main back, we'll see a lot of sophomore P.J. Myers. Mark Evans talked glowingly about the potential of the 10th grader before tonight's game. And then again, of course, the quarterback, as we said, is Jack Kinniff. The defense for the Wilson Bulldogs, it's a 3-4 defensive alignment with Michael Glover, Malachi Tolles, and Mel Gaston up front. And then the 4 linebackers as active and as efficient as can be. Cole Peterson and Ethan Harding outside. Braden Farrell and E.J. Brownback, just 2 tackling machines as the 2 inside backers for the Bulldogs. Jaden Carpenter, Corell Akings are the corners. Chase Erb and Monty Greer are the safeties. When the Bulldogs have the football up front, Aiden Giancavo is the center. Preston Simons and Jesse Etchberger are the guards. Dave Wise and Avery Manara are the tackles, with Big Michael Glover as the tight end. Jaden Carpenter is at 1 wide receiver. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs received some tough news last week in the loss of Eli Dean. Got hurt in last week's game and is out. Damian Greer and Chase Erb will kind of fill in that spot as the other receiver, along with Carpenter, along with Corell Akings in the backfield. We'll also see Monty Greer. And as we talked about, Mason Young is the senior quarterback. The defense trying to slow down the Bulldogs tonight from Manheim Township. It's a 4-3 defensive alignment for the Blue Streaks. Malachi Minguez, Luke Wagner are the defensive ends. Taylor Velu and Max Kolbrenner are the inside tackles. Marcus Fernandez and Grant Sagas are the outside backers, with David Luano, Zach Bomberger. The safeties are Riley Rontal and Chase Fletcher. That's the starting lineups for these 2 football teams. Tonight's game time weather outlook is brought to you by the United Way of Berks County. For 100 years, United Way has been a force for help, hope, and opportunity. They lead and invest in programs that and families to thrive. Together, they do right here, building a stronger community for generations. Learn more or volunteer at uwberks.org. It feels like football season. It feels like playoff football season, to be exact. The game time temperature is 52 degrees. There is a breeze blowing around. It's about anywhere from about 5 with gusts up to about 15 miles an hour. It's a lot cooler than it has been through most of the season, but it is week 10 of the high school football season, as the temperatures will certainly be down into the high 40s as tonight's game unfolds. So that is a little bit more of our Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf pregame show. Again, it is the Wilson Bulldogs, the Manheim Township Blue Streaks in Week 10. We'll have more high school football for you next week as we head into the District 3 playoffs. where we'll be and who we'll be seeing, we haven't figured that out yet. Once the playoff brackets are ultimately decided, there's going to be a lot of teams in Berks County who are going to get a bye and will have next week off to their advantage. We'll figure that all out over the course of the weekend, but we've got Week 10 coming your way next as Manheim Township and Wilson get set to start as our Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, Miniature Golf pregame show wraps up. We'll be back with a kickoff right after this on WEEU in Reading.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
Redner's Markets makes grocery shopping more convenient with Redner's Ready. Shop online and place your order as far as 4 days ahead or as little as 2 hours before pickup at your selected store. Our personal shoppers handpick your items and accommodate any personal instructions for your grocery needs. There's no difference between in-store and online pricing and no extra cost for pickup. And you can even have your order delivered by DoorDash for a small fee. Skip the trip with Redner's Ready. Shop online at rednersmarkets.com.
Support your Berks County community while purchasing great new and used furniture, appliances, and building supplies at the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore carries brand name new and used appliances, furniture, home decor, and more. Many new items are manufacturer direct and are available at unbeatable prices. Stop by the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County Tuesdays through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or visit our website at restoreberks.org for more information.
WEEU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, WEEU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for WEEU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. WEEU, banking that understands home.
Hey, Berks County, Chick-fil-A Catering makes game day even better. Choose from a variety of trays, including Chick-fil-A nuggets, mac and cheese, and chocolate chunk cookies. Perfect for your next gathering. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app, online, or by calling ahead and pick it up at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Take cooking off your plate this football season and enjoy the perfect spread with Chick-fil-A Catering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
Kickoff tonight's game is presented by the Coley Insurance Group. Discover the power of choice with Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group with locations in Muhlenberg and Wyomissing. They're a fully independent insurance agency with access to over 40 top-rated insurance carriers to ensure you get the best coverage at the best price. Whether it's auto, home, or life insurance, they have you covered at Goosehead Insurance. The Coley Insurance Group, the power of choice is yours. Call their team today, 484-848-6088. Alongside Matt Lytle, my name is Bob McCool. Wilson and Manheim Township squaring off. Again, both teams have taken care of business against Section 1 teams in the LL. Bulldogs looking to win their 31st LL section title. Their 30th in Section 1. They did win one in Section 2 of the LL. And this looking to be their league-high 31st if they can take care of business. Wilson has already added on to those two infamous streaks that they long for here in West Lawn. This is their 62nd straight non-losing seasons. That goes back to John Gursky's first season here in West Lawn in 1964 when they went 5-5. 62 straight years of non-losing seasons and 50 straight winning seasons. That is the longest streak in Pennsylvania high school football. 50 years in a row now for Wilson since they have had a losing season. So quite an incredible run here for the Bulldogs. But more importantly right now, they are thinking about taking home another section title as we are set to kick off, and it will be Wilson who will get the football first here tonight. What we expect to be a great crowd and a great football game as well. Rowan Crispino will kick it off for the Blue Streaks. And Monty Greer, Carell Akings are the two return men waiting for that opportunity back for Wilson. And hits the ball, hits on the ground for a moment, some hesitation. Greer eventually picks it up at the 15 and we'll get to the 20. So Akings and Greer kind of not hesitated. They just stopped for a moment, but eventually Greer picked it up and only is able to return it for about 5 yards. And so Wilson will start right at their own 20.
Yeah, very interesting bounce with that ball. That ball came down and spun in place. I think Greer was looking for a bounce up to him to take off with it. And Blue Streaks were there to wrap him up.
So Mason Young, as Matt gave you the number, 67% completion percentage on the year. 16-19 is his total yardage, 22 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Akings the back in the backfield, sidecar to his left. And it will be Carell Akings who'll get the football first. Trying to get outside. Will get a couple before he's wrapped up and brought down quickly. Coming up to make first contact for Manheim Township was Devin Luano, their middle linebacker, as Akings gets about 3 yards to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Akings, it just offset in out of the shotgun from Mason next to Mason Young, just a delayed handoff to the boundary, and the Blue Streaks were there with heavy pursuit, wrapping them up, a host of them.
Michael Glover lined up as a wing on the right. Now he'll shift in motion to join 2 receivers on the left. He'll cut back. Young fake stand up to him, and Young wants to keep it himself. Needs a block. Flag goes down as Young goes down as well. Not much on the game, probably about the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Great job by Manheim Township to string it out, and it's Simon Dumpster who comes up to make the tackle, and a flag thrown on the outside perimeter as well.
Bob, I think there was a little bit of a handling there of that handoff because Glover had slipped in the backfield. I think that ball was supposed to go to Glover,
right.
And I think Mason Young just pulled it down to minimize any mistakes and used smartly, pulled it down and got a couple yards with his feet.
So right now they've got the football marked pretty much at the line of scrimmage, and right now the conversation is with Mark Evans as to whether or not he wants the penalty or not. There's going to be a hold against Wilson. They're going to decline the penalty. They'll take the play, which is no gain, puts Wilson in a 3rd down. Actually, they skate him out to about the 23. So give him a yard, make it 3rd and 6 at the 24. So a very interesting decision early on for Mark Evans. Now they put it back at the 22. So we'll go back to where we were. 3rd and 7 from the 22-yard line as Young gets no gain on the play. And so they'll, instead of taking the penalty and pushing him back and giving him another down, they'll go for it on 3rd down. Young looks for a pass over the head of Chase Urban through his outstretched fingertips and incomplete. And the Bulldogs will go 3 plays and have to punt the football.
2 trips to the field there for the Bulldogs, and Mason just overthrew that a little bit to Chase Herb. It was a nice 3-man route. You had Glover down the seam, and then you had Chase Herb with a cross with Carpenter, and just a little bit out of the reach of Herb on that throw.
So Herb will now punt the football. Alan Feliciano, Chase Fletcher back to return for the Blue Streaks, who figured to get pretty good field position out of this. It's a high snap. Herb goes up and gets the kick, gets the catch, and gets the kick off without a problem. And Fletcher will make the catch, makes the first man miss. He's at the 40 and trying to turn upfield, will eventually get run out of bounds by Glover, angled out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. So a gutsy play there by the sophomore Fletcher with a defender coming right at him. It was Sammy Diana who had a shot at him. He was able to sidestep him and get out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Good field position for Manheim Township on their first possession.
Yeah, Coach Evans had nothing but great things to say about Fletcher, the sophomore. Chase Fletcher, number 22, he showed some speed there on that return.
So the offense under senior quarterback Jack Kinniff, 71% completion percentage, 1,654 yards. Diana was shaken up on the play. So the training staff out to look at him right now. 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for Kinniff. Again, headed to Quinnipiac University on a baseball offer. He played shortstop for Manheim Township, but Mark Evans telling us he can pitch too. He just didn't pitch a whole lot last year as a junior. I said, how hard can he throw? He said he's plus 90. So the arm is there for Kinniff. The experience is something new. He was not a starter last year. Carson Weiser was their starter last year, and then 2 years ago, a couple years before that, was Hayden Johnson, who had a brilliant run for Manheim Township. He's now at Lehigh University. Diana's shaken up and getting help off the field. So
if he's throwing plus 90, he might have a few major league scouts coming to his games this spring.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that playing shortstop might be the only thing he's going to do moving forward. He is behind center by his lonesome as Mark Evans and the Blue Streaks starting from their own 47 to start out in a naked backfield. Three receivers to the right for Kinniff and 2 to his left. Bulldogs come off the edge. Quick hitter, and it's knocked down. Boy, a great opportunity. Mel Gaston just got the big mitts up there and knocked that thing down. Defensive end swats it down and makes it an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Ramel Gabson almost came down with an interception on the first play. Kniff was looking boundary side, just a quick hitter throw hitched to the boundary, and Gadsden had other plans.
Simon Dumpster, Darius Dixon, Alan Feliciano, Chase Fletcher. Those are the 4 receivers. And now Fernandez is in there as a back in the backfield. He was lined up as a slot receiver. So 3 to the right and 1 left in Dixon for Manheim Township on 2nd and 10 from the 47. Little flanker screen for Fletcher. Needs a block and gets it. He's across midfield and then brought down close to the sticks as Monty Greer comes up and with maybe a touchdown-saving tackle, but in Wilson territory, down at the Bulldog 42-yard line, first down, Blue Streaks.
Trips to the field, bubble screen. Fletcher showing his speed, getting a first down. Just a glorified sweep there. Nice throw and catch there by Kniff and Fletcher.
11 yards on the completion to the 42. Here is Dixon trying to turn the outside edge and nothing there but Bulldogs, and he will lose yardage. Back to the spot him down at the 44 and forward progress. It's a loss of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It looked like it was a direct snap there to Darius Dixon. And first, I mean, there was no goings there coming off the boundary side. You had Glover and company who met him in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards.
So back to the 44-yard line. 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Wilson unable to pick up a first down. Manheim Township has their first down, but now they lose 2. So they're in a 2nd and 12 back at their Bulldog 44-yard line. In motion this time is Aiden Zulik, and the handoff this time is Fernandez. His first carry goes nowhere as Michael Glover will get him also in the backfield. The Blue Streaks are going in the wrong direction. They're now back at the 46-yard line and loss of 2 more.
Yeah, a little, much like Wilson, a little delayed run there out of the gun. Handoff to Fernandez, and Glover was all over him in the backfield. I mean, just big play there by Michael Glover.
So right now the Blue Streaks rushing twice for a net of -4 as Fletcher and Dumpster will come split to the left side and Dixon split out to the right. Play action fake. Kniff steps up. Can't find anybody open. Now he scrambles, buys himself some time, and it's broken up. Well played defensively by the Bulldogs. And it was Jaden Carpenter who got a hand on it and knocked it away. Incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Kniff was looking for Darius Dixon. The whole play looking for Dixon. Zoned in on Dixon. And Jaden Carpenter, I mean, Kniff's lucky that wasn't intercepted because Carpenter was all over him.
Yeah, Gass is just trying to knock it down. Carpenter's got other ideas.
Carpenter wanted that ball going the other way.
So a big early stop for the Bulldogs after Manheim Township picks up a first down in Wilson territory will force the Blue Streaks to punt the football. And this one will be angled out of bounds, keeping it away from Curl Akings, not giving him a chance to return it. The punter is Aiden Zulik as he angles it away from the Bulldogs, and Wilson's defense comes up with a stop. And now with 9:01 left to go in period number 1 in a scoreless tie, Bulldogs will get it right back where they started their first drive at their own 20-yard line.
Both these quarterbacks, probably a little, big games, some butterflies. We're not used to seeing incompletions out of either of these quarterbacks, but now I think they got it out of their. I think they got it out of their skin. They're ready to go.
They were spectators in this game a year ago in Week 10. Now very much a big piece of it, and now movement up front. Taylor Velu jumped. Was he drawn off sides by the Bulldogs or not? Manheim Township's already walking backwards, so this is going to be an encroachment penalty against Manheim Township. So it'll put it at 1st and 5 now for Wilson at the 25-yard line. So whether that was a hard count or not by Mason Young or not, he got the Blue Streaks to jump off sides for sure. So now 1st and 5 at the 25. Monty Greer split out to the right. Jaden Carpenter split out to the left for the Bulldogs. Damian Greer is slot left. Now Monty Greer goes in motion. Roll out for Mason Young. Just going to try to dump it off. It's deflected in the air. It's intercepted. Flags are down as well as the ball is picked off by Manheim Township. Let's wait and see how this play ultimately unfolds. Just a little push pass there from Mason Young. It was deflected and intercepted by Manheim Township, but flags on each side of the line of scrimmage. It's an illegal man downfield against Wilson. Manheim Township will decline that penalty. They'll take the play, which is a turnover, and Manheim Township has the football deep in Wilson territory at the Bulldog 32-yard line.
Bob, I think Mason Young's going to want that one back. That was a little play action there, a little almost like waggle, and he had Monty Greer coming across, flicked it over, just almost like a jump pass, flicked it over to him, went off his hands and into a Blue Streak defender's hand. So definitely not the start that Mason Young has wanted.
So can the Blue Streaks take advantage of it with a short field to work with? A scoreless tie, they have it at the Bulldog 32-yard line. Fernandez in the backfield. Now he's going to shift out of the backfield. Kniff is going to go the other way as he dumps this one off to Feliciano. Little flanker screen that will get him inside to 30 and pick up about 5 to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, not a bad thing there. Feliciano catching the ball, running. You had Taylor WEEU, senior, 5'11", 255-pound fullback. Not a bad guy to run behind.
Yeah.
That's a dude right there.
Yeah, if I'm going to run, that's the guy I want in front of me because most people are going to get out of his way.
But again, throwing the ball to the perimeter, he got it outside here in the boundary and allowed one of his quicks to make a play.
WEEU lined up, much like Wilson uses Glover, kind of that H-back position behind the right guard. And Fernandez is going to go the other way. Now cuts back against the grain and picks up a couple more. He's going to be stopped short of the first down as Glover comes up along with Chase Erb to wrap him up right around the 23-yard line. It should be 3rd down and 1 coming up for Manheim Township.
Yeah, Marcos Fernandez did a nice job breaking the tackle from Chase Erb. Chase Erb had him wrapped in the backfield and broke that tackle to get up just shy of the first down.
So this is no doubt 4-down territory for Manheim Township on a 3rd and 1 now at the 23. WEEU will carry the football. And if there's a play that streams out for Taylor WEEU, it would be this. But they're going to put him back on that wing on the right side with Fernandez on the opposite side of the quarterback, Kniff, on the sidecar left. And it is a play-action fake. Kniff is going to try to throw for it. He's got a man, and it's a jump ball, double covered. It was Dixon, but good coverage by the Bulldogs. You talk about making sure you're not looking in the backfield. Chase Herb with safety help with Carpenter, double covering Dixon. It's 4th down.
Yeah, 2-man route there. You had Carter Ziegler down the field, and you had Darius Dixon, just 2-man route, and he threw it. He did. He threw it up into double coverage. You had both Herb and Jaden Carpenter on the coverage, and again, that was a dangerous throw. Could have been intercepted, going the other way.
Looked like there's a holding penalty on the play against Manheim Township, so Wilson will take the penalty. We need to see because it's still going to be 4th and 1. So instead, Doug Doms will make them walk off the 10. So it'll still remain 3rd down now, but backed up to the 33. Manheim Township on the penalty will be in a 3rd and 11 now, back at the 33-yard line on the 10-yard holding penalty. Second penalty of this quarter assessed against the Blue Streaks. Kniff from the shotgun with Fernandez sidecar to his right, to his left. Now Fernandez again shifts out of the backfield. Kniff looking across the middle. Pass is caught by Feliciano inside the 30 to the 25. Fighting for the first down. That gets pushed from behind and will get the first down all the way down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. First down, Manheim Township.
Great extra effort there by Feliciano. I mean, he came on a crossing route. He was right underneath his tight end, Luke Wagner. So you had a high-low there. He gave it to Feliciano. Feliciano followed Wagner up the field, lowered his shoulder. Didn't think he had enough for the first down, but then I see 4 or 5 Blue Streak players coming and pushing the pile, and he got first down and then some.
15 yards in total, moves the Sticks to the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 for Manheim Township. 6:50 left to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Here's a toss sweep left side for Fernandez. He kind of cuts up against the grain, and there's E.J. Brownback. E.J. Brownback is going to set all kinds of records by the time he's done. He's been playing since a freshman, a junior now, and he makes so many tackles over the course of the game as he wraps up Fernandez after a gain of 2 to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if there's two better linebackers for Wilson than E.J. Brownback and number 20, Braden Farrell. Those guys are tackling machines, and they're tough as nails.
I could cheat, just say they made the tackle every play because I'd probably be not too far off. Dixon split out to the left, 2 receivers for the right for Kniff as he rolls out to his right. Going to throw for the back of the end zone, looking for Fletcher. He overthrows him. It's incomplete.
Big play there, right? 25-yard throw into the end zone. Feliciano, or not Feliciano, excuse me. That was Fletcher. Fletcher was wide open in the corner of the end zone. If he makes that throw, touchdown Blue Streaks. That's one miss there.
Amateur
needed executed.
Amateur thought process. He holds on to that football another second or so, and he's got a much better angle to throw that pass to Fletcher.
Absolutely. Well,
and he had time.
He had time. Both quarterbacks are a little,
little anxious.
Beginning of the game, anxious.
3rd and 8 now as a result for the Blue Streaks from the Bulldogs 16-yard line. Receivers split each way. And the give is to Fernandez right up the gut. He'll get some, but not a whole lot as he's tripped up from behind. And Brownback, the first one to make contact with him, as he's brought down at around the 13. This will bring up 4th down and about 5 coming up for Manheim Township.
And we talk about Brownback and Farrell at middle linebacker. They also have another stud with his hand down, number 15 in Glover. And on that last play, they doubled him while he's out there at defensive end. So they got some dudes on defense.
Manheim Township going to try to make sure they get some points out of this turnover as Rowan Crispino will come on to attempt the field goal. It will be a 31-yard attempt. High snap. Kinniff gets it down. The kick gets long enough. Did he get it through? He did. So Manheim Township turns the game's first turnover into points. Turns out to be a field goal with 5:16 left to go in quarter number 1. Manheim Township 3, Wilson nothing back with more high school football presented by Savage Auto Group live on WEEU in Reading after this.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
3-0 Manheim Township on top. Again, setting it all up with an interception that gave Manheim Township the football at the Bulldog 32-yard line. And Manheim Township overcoming a holding penalty that set them back a little bit and ultimately settling for Rowan Crispino's 31-yard field goal to give them a 3-0 lead. The interception, by the way, from Mason Young, his 9th of the season, as Crispino kicks this one off. And this time it'll be Monty Greer from about his own 14-yard line across the 20, 25, gets a block, spins away from a tackler across the 30, 35, and 40. And Greer is finally tripped up just shy of the 45-yard line. Well, there was some hesitation on the first one. Not that time for Monty Greer. An excellent return and the best field position so far in the football game for Wilson will start at their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, that spin move Monty Greer made on a 30-yard line almost put him in the end zone. He was tackled by his shoestrings by Jonathan Kemper, sophomore defensive back for the Blue Streaks that kept him from taking it to distance.
So Mason Young, an incompletion and an interception so far in his first 2 attempts. He's got 2 receivers to his right in Herb and Damian Glover, with Carpenter split out to left. Glover goes in motion from right wing to left slot. So 4 receivers for Young to look for. He's looking for the home run. He's looking for Carpenter. He's got to step on the defense. The ball is broken up at the last minute by Simon Dupser. Comes through and knocks it out of the hands of Carpenter. An incomplete pass will make it 2nd down.
Simon Dumser made a real heck of a play coming back. It's I'll tell you, that was Carpenter waited a little bit for that go route. He waited on it, allowed, because he had 2 or 3 steps on Dumser, and a great route there by Carpenter and good throw by Mason Young. Just did not put enough air underneath it to lead Carpenter. Otherwise, that would have been touchdown.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Again, they're from their 44. Same look with Carpenter split out to the left. Herb and Damian Greer slot right, and Glover again going in motion from right wing to left. Give is for Aiken. He's trying to turn that left edge. Aiken's trying to turn it upfield. Will get a little across the 45 to about the 46. And a flag comes in from behind the Bulldogs offense. So we'll see what this is about after what right now is a 2-yard run for Carell Aikens. It's going to be a hold against the Bulldogs. So this will be the first penalty assessed against Wilson. They had one that was declined by Manheim Township in their first series. This one will be walked back to the 34-yard line, and we'll put Wilson in a 2nd down and 20. By the way, our officiating crew tonight, our Lancaster Level League officiating crew, our referee is Jim Kempf. Umpire is Rick Del Giorno. The head linesman is Bob Resch. Headline judge is Ian Decker. Back judge is Ted Luce. The side judge, Jonathan Horning. And the field judge is Bruce Kilmore. I want to thank them. They were very complimentary. They did the game last week that we did between Exeter and Conestoga Valley. So they got together, watched the game afterwards, very much enjoyed the coverage, and we certainly appreciate that. We thank them for not only watching it, helping us with the cause, but also enjoying the coverage as well. 2nd down and 20 now for the Bulldogs. Again, backed up on the holding penalty, back to the 34-yard line. We're inside of 5 minutes left to go, quarter number 1. Manheim Township 3, Bulldogs nothing. Wilson still looking for its first down of this football game. Play action fake. Young looks left, looks back to his right. Pass is caught. Caught by Braden Farrell in there as a second tight end. And Farrell's tripped up as he gets across the 40. They get back what they lost on the penalty. Coming up to make the tackle was Max Pena from Manheim Township, dropping Farrell at about the 44-yard line. So they get exactly back what they had in the penalty. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now coming up for Wilson.
Nice little formation and play call there. You had condensed splits on the short side of the field. You motioned Glover to the strong side of the field and throw a screen backside to the short side of the field for Wilson. Nice little play call there for Wilson to get him back in 3rd and 10 to go.
Glover shifts right side to left wing. So 3 receivers left side for Young. Looking that way all the way. Now he's looking for trouble, and he's trying to get out of trouble. He's going to dump it off for Akings, and Akings has room, and Akings is going to try to work for the first down, but he went backwards, and it's going to cost him potentially the first down. There is a flag down on the play as well.
I think Mason Young threw the ball past the line of scrimmage, and you're right, Akins, he needs to take that north and south. Oh, he was he was right there at the sticks. If he went lateral instead north and south, he would easily had the first down.
Yeah, I think he could have leaned his way to the first down. Instead, he tried to get more, and it cost him the sticks. But again, I don't know that it's going to matter now on this play. And as Matt said, I think that's going to be the penalty. It was a late flag, and I think that's it. I think Mason Young was over the line of scrimmage when he threw the football, and that's going to be the play. That's going to be the call. So a second penalty in a row now against the Bulldogs is going to cost them valuable field position. It's going to stay 3rd down, but it's going to back them up to the 39-yard line. I'll put Wilson in the 3rd and 15. So Doug Doms talked with us about this a number of times over the course of this season. The Bulldogs committing too many penalties for his liking. Here is a sweep for Monty Greer. Another flag goes down as Greer gets tripped up in the backfield back at about the 42-yard line. So they went with a little sweep for Monty Greer, but another penalty against the Bulldogs.
Nice little option reverse there. You had Young and Akins go to the boundary side, and while they went almost like an option reverse, they took the defense with them to the field and handed off backside to Monty Greer, and Monty Greer got. No, it's a false start.
No, I think the penalty. It's definitely
illegal procedure.
They're going to decline it, and they'll take the play, which was a loss of 2 on the play, back to the 42-yard line. So Manheim Township will decline the Bulldog penalty and put Wilson in a 4th down instead. Again, they lost more yardage on the play. It'll be a 4th and about 18 on the run by Monty Greer, and so Chase Erb and Wilson will punt the football. So the Bulldog offense scuffling to get started here in this first quarter. Now has 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And Manheim Township about to get the ball back. Another high snap. Erb has to back up to get it and gets the punt off. It's a high kick that will hit at about the 23 and roll forward Wilson's direction to about the 15-yard line, and about the 16 is where it eventually gets stopped by the Bulldogs. And wow. Manheim Township with its worst field position starting from about his own 16-yard line.
I'll tell you what, 2 really good punts by Chase Erb. Chase Erb's doing it all. He's playing punter, he's playing receiver, he's playing defensive back, free safety. A very versatile kid.
And had to make a nice play on that because that was a very high snap. And kind of floated back to him as there was somebody coming off the edge, and Malachi Minguez for Manheim Township was just about a second or so too slow to get there. So the Streaks will start 1st and 10 for their 16. Again, they lead it by 3-0 with 3:17 remaining in period number 1. Kniff is going to be in the backfield by himself again with 3 receivers to his right and 2 to his left. He's looking all left all the way for Dixon. A little flanker screen for Dixon. He'll get a couple across the 20 to about the 21-yard line before the Bulldogs will surround him with Carpenter and Brownbeck and Farrell all in on the tackle.
Yeah, Township just goes 5 wide and just glorified. I would call it get your playmaker the field in the perimeter. Number 4 there. Yeah, Darius Dixon all the way down here to the short side of the field. Little throw and catch. Got up the field for a quick 4-yard gain.
To the 20 on his first catch of the game, his 41st of the season. He'll come split out to the left, this time by himself, with 2 receivers in Fletcher and Dumpster to the right side. On 2nd and 6 from the 20 for Manheim Township. Now WEEU and Fernandez both in the backfield on either side of Kniff, and WEEU is going to get his first carry. The big man will lumber his way to about the 25 and maybe to the 26. And if he got the 26, it may be enough for a Manheim Township first down.
Yeah, that was interesting there. That's a big boy carrying. I mean, that's a dude carrying the ball, and linebacker Brandon Farrell was bringing him down. Brandon Farrell, 6'2", 200. Brandon Farrell made sure to go low on tackle.
WEEU on his 40th carry of the season runs for just enough to get the first down for the Blue Streaks to the 26. Third first down for Manheim Township in this quarter. First on the ground. 1st and 10 at the 26 as we hit the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. Feliciano in there now as a receiver. He's slot right with Dixon split right. And the give is to Fernandez straight up the gut. And Fernandez will take it to about the 30.
Just a quick handoff for Fernandez right to the A-gap following a little window dressing, getting WEEU in motion, looking like they're going off tackle, and he quick hits it right in the center guard gap.
Still haven't yet seen P.J. Myers, although we might be seeing him now as Fernandez is coming off. Matt mentioned about Chase Fletcher and P.J. Myers, the other 10th grader that Mark Evans was talking about that he really likes. He said, I got a couple of sophomores I really like, and those 2 are at the head of the class. 2 receivers each way now for Manheim Township. It's Dixon actually in the backfield as Fernandez checks out. Now he'll shift out of the backfield as well. So Kniff is back there by himself on 2nd and 6 from the 30. Has time, looking for the home run. He's got a man over the shoulder, and the pass is caught by Dixon in Wilson territory down to the Wilson 35-yard line.
So empty backfield. Darius Dixon motioned out into the slot. They ran go routes, seam routes down the middle, and he was 2-3 yards behind any Wilson defensive back. If he put that on him and allowed him to run, it was touchdown. That was I was fortunate for the Blue Streaks. Darius Dixon made a nice catch on to make that a completion.
33 yards on the gain. Right back to the ground game is Fernandez, who will lumber his way to about the 35, maybe to the 34. In Wilson territory again is Manheim Township, as Fernandez gets it just across the 35. We'll call it at the 34, make it 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Blue Streaks as we're inside of 30 seconds, probably the final play of period number 1 now for Manheim Township. All things going the way of the Blue Streaks as they are back in Wilson territory after that 33-yard completion to Dixon, and the Manheim Township will not bother to get another snap off here in period number 1. They have themselves a 3-0 lead after 12 minutes. Again, the fight to the finish for the Section 1 title in the Lancaster 11 League between Manheim Township and Wilson after 1. It's the Blue Streaks 3, the Bulldogs nothing back with period number 2. High school football presented by Savage Auto Group continues on WEEU after this.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie shared before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
We start quarter number 2 alongside Matt Lytle. My name is Bob McCool. 3-0 Blue Streaks on top. Manheim Township has the football in Wilson territory. 3rd down and 7 at the 34. Right back to Fernandez, who slips through and had just a little bit of daylight. If he gets away from E.J. Brownback, he's in the end zone, but not too many people get away from the junior linebacker. He wraps him up at the 29, but it's still a 5-yard gain for Marcos Fernandez.
Yeah, nice job by E.J. Brownback holding on for dear life there, bringing him down because, to your point, Bob, there was nobody between him and the goalposts.
So it's 3rd down and 2 now for Manheim Township inside the Bulldog 30 at the Wilson 29-yard line. Lots of shifting with personnel for both of these two teams on virtually every play. WEEU was out on that play, now back in. And he'll go in and line up in that fullback spot. Look at a little power eye here, perhaps. 2 fullbacks back there. And to give his to WEEU, and Wilson will stack him up, but 260 pounds does not go down easy. And WEEU leans forward for what may be the first down. We'll see where they spot the football. Brownback and company there to wrap up. He only got a yard, so it'll be 4th and 1.
I think you're going to see the same play call with WEEU at the fullback position, lined up 3 yards behind.
Same look, pretty much an I formation. And it is, yep, that's WEEU, and he'll lean forward. He's got it. Dives this time to the 25-yard line. Needed 1, got 3, 1st and 10, Manheim Township.
Yeah, a little fullback dive. He didn't go in A gap there. He took that off the guard tackle gap, took it outside, put his foot in the ground and got some extra yards there on the first down.
So he will come out now on 1st and 10 for the Blue Streaks at the Wilson 25-yard line. Three receivers for Kinniff to his left and 1 in Dixon to his right. Fernandez the back in the backfield, and that's who gets the call. Fernandez trying to work his way up the middle. Fights, and again, it's Brownback who meets him right around the 21-yard line and brings him to a stop. But Fernandez still strong enough to get about 4 yards on the play.
Hey, that was a great – I got to give a shout-out to the offensive line there. The really nice job there by Garrett Kurtz, Harrison Roach, and tight end Luke Wagner really driving Wilson's defensive line backwards, giving Fernandez that opportunity to pick up the 4 yards.
To the 21-yard line, 2nd down and 6 for Manheim Township. Blue Streaks in no hurry right now, taking their time with every snap, as Fernandez now will check out of the game, and Aiden Zulik will come in as another receiver. He splits out on the right side with Feliciano, and Dixon split out on the left. Now actually, Dixon shifts out of the backfield to that slot position again, and they look right away to him, but this time it's over his head and incomplete. Monty Greer was closing in on him. The pass too high. It's 3rd and 6.
Yeah, you had Aiden Zulik, sophomore, 6'2". He was wide receiver number 29, or was it number 29? Might have been number 29.
Yes,
Landon Crane.
Yep.
They had, even so, he's a wide receiver lined up as tight end. So he had 3 receivers set to the left, 2 to the right. And again, they went to Darius Dixon up into the seam, and it was a little bit out of reach for him. He jumped up with one hand and couldn't pull it in.
So it's 3rd down and 6 now coming up for Manheim Township. Big spot here for the Bulldogs to try to keep them in a 4th down situation and maybe force them into another field goal. Give his to Fernandez. He patiently waits for a hole and slides through that hole and gets himself a 1st down. And inside the 10-yard line as well, it's going to be 1st down, goal to go for Manheim Township right at the 10-yard line.
Colton Kemp, offensive tackle, pulling almost like a counter, and Fernandez followed him the whole way up into the hole. Really nice block there by Kemp and run by Fernandez getting up the field.
4th 1st down in this drive for Manheim Township that started at their own 16-yard line. It's now at the Bulldog 10-yard line. And 1st down, goal to go from the 10 for Manheim Township. Clock now at 9 minutes left to go in the half. Kinniff has 2 receivers each way, and WEEU is back in the backfield. Sidecar to his right, and he's going to keep it himself off the edge to the 5, takes a pop at about the 3, dives for the end zone. He's going to come up short. No, he's not. Touchdown. Took a hit from Chase Erb, but still got himself in the end zone. Anyway, I'm not sure. We got one official signaled touchdown. The other did not. But usually once it's signaled, it's pretty much a done deal. And it looks like Manheim Township will get the touchdown run from Kinniff. Took a pop from Chase Erb right at the 1-yard line, but still got himself in the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Streaks.
Yeah, reached out with his right hand. Definitely Chase Erb gave him a licking and dove forward. Stretched that ball over the goal line and touchdown, Blue Streaks. Nice run by Jack Kinniff.
Riley Rontal is the holder, and the extra point by Crispino is good. 8 minutes, 46 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. And it's now Manheim Township 10, Wilson nothing. Back to John Gursky Stadium in West Lawn after this on WEEU in Reading.
UECU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, UECU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for UECU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. UECU, banking that understands home.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338. Well, Manheim Township's had a couple of short fields in this ball game, but they just put together a big-time drive. 12 plays, 84 yards. They ate up over half of a quarter's worth of time. 6 minutes and 31 seconds. And Jack Kiddiff takes it into the end zone for the touchdown, the quarterback's sixth rushing touchdown of the season. Kickoff return for Wilson from about the 5-yard line, across the 15-20, and breaking free. Flags go down as the kickoff return eventually is brought down across the 40. And it's Monty Greer on the kickoff return, but we'll wait and see what the flag is again on the kickoff return for Wilson.
Monty Greer, very deceiving on his kick return. Doesn't look like he's running full speed, and he's got like really quick startups, stop and go, and great return out to the 42-yard line. I think this may be coming back.
Third penalty against the Bulldogs that's been assessed. They've also had a couple penalties declined by Manheim Township. So Wilson starts, instead of at the 42-yard line on the kickoff return by Monty Greer, they're going to get backed up from inside the 25 at the 24 is where they'll start. So the Bulldogs with a first down as of yet in this football game. 8:37 left to go in the second quarter. The Bulldogs have yet to move the sticks so far. They start from their own 24, down 10-0. Young, 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. And it's Ethan Harding in the backfield. He gets the handoff. Trying to go off the left edge. Harding will take it out to about the 30. If that's where they spot it, they do. It's a 6-yard gain on the first carry for Harding.
Yeah, Harding offset there, offset to the left of Mason Young. Just a quick handoff, off tackle to the left, following none other than Michael Glover on the block.
So Harding, who starts at outside linebacker, getting some time early on in this game at the tailback spot. He'll stay in after the 6-yard gain, and they play action fake to him. A little slant route for Chase Erb, who makes the catch, absorbs a couple of tackles to the 35, and Wilson has their first down.
Yeah, nice little play action throw there by Mason Young to Chase Erb. Great throw and catch for the first down for the Wilson Bulldogs. I think that may be the first of the game for the Bulldogs.
First down at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Wilson needing a spark on offense. Trying to maybe play a little bit more hurry up. There's a give to Harding. Harding trying to get outside. Tries to stiff arm his way out of a tackle, and eventually the Blue Streaks will wrap him up. Luke Wagner was the guy he was trying to get away from, and it slowed down Harding long enough for the rest of the Blue Streaks to wrap him up. Good job by Harding just to get something out of that. A gain of about 2 to the 37-yard line.
Nice job there by the Blue Streaks, too. I mean, they gang tackled Harding. Harding tried to extend it and get it outside, used his speed, and the Blue Streaks were there, turned him back inside and tackled by a host of players.
Harding, pretty much the third tailback for Wilson. Aking's obviously the starter with Monty Greer as the second. Here's Harding again, trying to turn the left edge. Gets a block, has the 40, 45, and he gets dragged down from behind and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. If he got that far, it is a first down for Wilson, but we'll see what the flag's all about.
Little change up, bringing Ethan Harding in, showing his speed, getting to the sidelines, enough for a first down, but coming back, holding against Wilson.
Another holding penalty against the Bulldogs is going to cost them the first down. We'll see where the holding came off the line of scrimmage, downfield, on whoever had the edge there as the blocker for the Bulldogs. So it'll be a bit of a gain for Harding, and then 10 yards back from the spot. So the officials are trying to determine that exactly where the penalty gets marked off to, and it'll be back to the 36. So it'll make it a 2nd down now and 9 for Manheim Town, or for Wilson from their own 36-yard line. So 2nd and 9. Ball goes through Young's hands, and he's got a fall on the football, and Manheim Township falls on him. Snap went through Mason Young's hand, and he had a fall on it. And then Devin Luano comes in and falls on top of Young, and he's a little bit slow to get back up.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a delayed hit there. Landed on top of Mason Young, and Mason Young is a little slow getting up for sure.
Bulldog faithful below us looking for a flag on that play, but Young, again, just falls on the football, and then the defensive player falls on top of him. But he will stay in the game. It's now third down for Wilson. It backed up all the way back to their own 28-yard line. A loss of 8 on the play will make it 3rd and 17. Young having to throw for it, has time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, steps up. Is he going to run? No, he's going to dump it off. Pass is caught by Akings again. The flag goes down.
Yeah.
I think he's across the line of scrimmage again.
He was across the line of scrimmage, and the first call, I think, was they were holding Michael Glover. Michael Glover was running a shallow cross, and they were holding him off the line of scrimmage. So interesting to see what these calls will be.
Yeah, there's 2 flags on the play to Matt's point. One is definitely on Young being across the line of scrimmage because it looked like he was going to turn and run upfield and then kind of saw Corell Akings and dumped it off to him instead. I think that's one of the flags. If Matt's right, this could just nullify the play and be offsetting penalties. We'll wait and see what Jim Kempf and his crew have to say about it.
That lighted up down and distance marker is nice, and he was definitely beyond that.
So it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a loss of down on the play on the illegal forward pass on the play by Young. So I think both of those penalties were against Wilson. They signaled the first one against Wilson as well. So it looks like both of those penalties are against the Bulldogs. Now Mark Evans is looking for an explanation, unless the official just pointed in the wrong direction. Because it's still saying third down right now.
Or did they miss the hold on Glover?
Now Doug Doms is looking for an explanation as well. Jim Kempf will give him his explanation as to what happened. So they're backing him up, and now the lighted stick that Matt referred to now says 4th down.
Yeah.
So it's a loss of down on the illegal forward pass once he's over the line of scrimmage. So it's a loss of down. So it's a penalty, and then the loss of down back to the 22. Yes.
4th and 23.
4th and 23.
22. You're right.
From the 23-yard line, and Wilson will now have to punt the football. So a 5th penalty now against Wilson assessed in this first half. And another high snap. Herb has backed the field over his head, gets the punt off somehow or another. It's just a line drive kick that goes out of bounds. Another great play by Chase Herb on a half snap that was over his head. He kind of fielded that like a center fielder going back on a fly ball to make the catch back by the goal line. And then had to run around to try to get an angle to get the kickoff, and it angled out of bounds. And Manheim Township's going to get the ball in great field position again.
I mean, great athletic play there by Chase Herb. You know, with two Blue Streak players coming in his face, just getting that ball off and not turning the ball over where it was or fumbling it. I mean, nice heads-up play there by your punter and senior safety.
So Manheim Township gets the ball for a second time in this half in Wilson territory, this time at the Bulldog 35. So 3 punts by Wilson this half, and all 3 of those snaps have been over Herb's head, and each a little bit more egregious than the last. 1st and 10 from the 35. Kinniff going to hand it off for Fernandez. Fernandez slips out of a tackle to line of scrimmage and pushes his way forward and may have enough for a Manheim Township first down right near the Bulldog 25-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, really big run there. Big run there by Fernandez. Fernandez broke tackles of Michael Glover and E.J. Brownback. Got through those 2 guys, got through the line, and great run for what? Almost 10 yards.
Yep, to the 26 and a gain of 9 on the 9th carry this first half for Marcos Fernandez. And if Mark Evans has his way here, Manheim Township will eat up as much of this 5 minutes and now 30 seconds left to go in this second quarter as he can. He's got a 10-0 lead right now on the road in West Lawn and looking for more. 2nd and 1 for the Blue Streaks at the Wilson 26-yard line, and now Wilson will call a timeout. So Doug Doms sensing a sense of urgency here, maybe not having whatever personnel he wanted on the field, will call himself a timeout. First timeout called by Wilson Bulldogs would probably like to save that timeout for when they get the ball back, if they get the ball back here. But with 5:18 to go in half number one, Wilson is forced to call its first timeout. 10-0 Manheim Township on top. Again, both these two teams have punched their ticket to the District 3 playoffs. Manheim Township will be making its 19th appearance in the District 3 playoffs. Wilson will be making its 33rd appearance in the district playoffs. Bulldogs got to the district final last year before losing to Harrisburg. Same story 2 years ago for Manheim Township after they beat Wilson to win the section title. They got to the district final and lost to Harrisburg in overtime, 34-28, 2023. Right now, Harrisburg looks to be the number one seed in the 6A bracket if they would hold. Central York right now is 2, Manheim Township 3, Wilson 4 coming into this final week. Number 5 is York. Central York and York High play each other tonight in the York Adams League. 2nd and 1 from the 26. Give is to Fernandez. Waits for something, finds something, and fights his way inside the 20. First down for Manheim Township as Fernandez runs to about the 19-yard line of Wilson on a gain of 7.
Fernandez offset out of the gun, just a quick handoff. You had WEEU just coming on a short motion, kicking out the defensive end on the strong side of the field, and Fernandez coming right off his hip. I mean, great blocking and run by their two fullback running back there in WEEU and Fernandez.
They're going to split those two now on either side of Kenneth. WEEU is on his left. Fernandez is on his right on 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 19-yard line. Kenneth wants to throw for it instead. A little quick hitter for Dixon. Dixon hit immediately, but he does make the catch inside the 15 to about the 14. It's going to be another 5-yard pickup for the Blue Streaks.
I think that was the nicest throw I've seen tonight so far by Jack Kenneth. That was a quick throw, got it out of his hand quick to Darius Dixon into the boundary, 5 yards. A great play by Jaden Carpenter, wrapping him up because he doesn't make that tackle. Dixon's in for a touchdown.
Dixon's 3rd catch of the night, his 43rd of the season. He is the leader in that category for Manheim Township, and the returning veteran Darius Dixon will now split out to the right side for Manheim Township. 2 receivers to the left on 2nd and 5 from the 14-yard line. Again, backs on either side of Kenneth in the backfield. And they'll give it to WEEU. WEEU fights his way and gets to about the 12 before he's wrapped up and brought down. Gain of about 2 for Taylor WEEU to the 12. It's 3rd down and 3 coming up for Manheim Township.
Malachi Tolles in, senior, 5'10", 240-pound defensive lineman there for Wilson, bringing down another big dude in WEEU. WEEU kind of seemed like he was running straight up and down on that play instead of lowering his shoulder pads, level of his pads. So I think it was a little bit easier of a guy to tackle when he's straight up and down rather than coming at you with full head of steam.
Dumpster split right, Dixon split left. Doesn't matter. The give is to the tailback, and Fernandez fights his way, trying to fight his way to a first down. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough. Had to get to the 9-yard line to get the first down. He's going to be spotted down around the 10, so it's going to be another 4th down coming up for Manheim Township. 4th and about a yard.
Will we see the field goal team come in? Nope.
Looks like
Jack Kenneth back on the field, so they're going for it. 4th and inches.
4th and less than a yard for sure at the 10-yard line after the 2-yard run for Fernandez. WEEU lined up as a fullback and an I. He'll be the blocker for Fernandez. And a great play coming in and busting it up was E.J. Brownback to trip up Fernandez before he got to the line of scrimmage. And it looks like the Bulldogs will take over on downs.
Great job there by E.J. Brownback, splitting the gap and tackling Fernandez in the backfield for a loss, keeping the Blue Streaks off of the board.
Well, Matt, you talked in your keys to the game tonight about making big plays, and Wilson finally makes its first big play, and that's it on defense. That could be huge. It keeps it a 10-0 game, and it gives the Bulldogs the football back with 2:30 to go now. They are backed up in their own territory at the 12-yard line, and they have 2 timeouts to work with. Akings is back as the tailback, sidecar right, and he's going to get the handoff, trying to get around the left edge. Chased as he does so, and eventually brought down at around the 15-yard line. Chased from the get-go off the edge by Devin Luano, and eventually wraps him up at the 15 as Akings gains 3.
Yeah, Wilson there brought in Brandon Farrell, and they're doing a narrow split, condensing everybody's split. You got Glover, Farrell, and
Damian Greer is the other. Here's Akings trying to follow that pack, but not much doing. Great job by Manheim Township to focus in, and it's Dixon who comes up and makes the play, this time on the defensive side, bumping Akings out of bounds at around the 17-yard line. A gain of 2 puts Wilson in a 3rd and 5.
Really just trips to the boundary with Damian Greer, Glover, and Farrell lead blocking for him. Glorified sweep to the boundary.
So Wilson needs to try to move the sticks here and not give the ball back to Manheim Township. They're in a 3rd and 5 at the 17. Young wanting to throw for it. Man, it's Glover, and that pass is caught for a first down out to the 25-yard line. Michael Glover finally gets his first touch.
Nice little Y-stick combination there. You had Glover on a quick stick out route. You had number 3, Damian Greer, out in the flat, and you had your outside receiver and Carpenter on a go route. Really nice throw and catch there from Young to Glover.
7 yards on the completion when they needed 5 to get the first down. Wilson keeps the drive alive with 1:35 left to go in the half. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 24-yard line. They get packed the 3 receivers on the right side, and the give is to Akings trying to turn that right. No, it's not. It's the other way, and it's in the hands, and it's Glover, and Glover's got free and rein. Michael Glover to foot race to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Bulldogs. The misdirection of Michael Glover, and the big man takes it to the house. 76 yards for the score.
There's the big play that Wilson needed, giving it to the big man, Michael Glover, coming around the end. Little trickery there, faking to Akins, going to the trip side, handing it off underneath to Glover. Glover showing his speed as a big man, taking it down the sidelines for a Bulldog touchdown. We talk about big plays. Wilson just had one.
Michael Glover we knew as the tight end. We've known him as a defensive lineman as well. But in the last couple of weeks, the Bulldogs have been finding a way to get the ball as a runner as well. And they do that here, and he makes the most of it. And the big play that Wilson needed. First, the big play by Brownback defensively to stop that first down pickup, and then to flip the field the other way. And Glover taking it in for the touchdown run. On comes Preston Oxenrider for the extra point attempt, and that is good. Brand new ball game with 1:14 left to go in the first half. As the Wilson Bulldogs have cut the deficit, it's now the Blue Streaks 10, the Bulldogs 7 back with a more second quarter action at WEEU after this.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all. From residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
1 minute, 14 seconds left to go. This first half has taken a dramatic change in the last minute as Wilson comes up with a stop on defense and then flips it back the other way on a 76-yard touchdown run for Michael Glover and finishes off a 4-play, 88-yard drive. Michael Glover had not touched the football up until the last 2 plays. First, it was the pass for the first down, and then the 76-yard run. Here is Fletcher on the return for Manheim Township across the 30, out of bounds at about the 35-yard line on the return by Chase Fletcher. And so it still gives the Blue Streaks 1:08 to play here in this half, and Manheim Township still has all 3 of its timeouts to work with. So the Blue Streaks will start from the 37. So again, the play that everybody will talk about, Matt, is the run by Glover, and rightfully so. But if E.J. Brownback doesn't make that tackle on 4th down, this whole first half is a completely different complexion.
Total change, total point swing and whatnot. I got to go back. Glover is no slouch. This kid's been looked at by Division I schools all over the place. He was up at Penn State. He was out at Pitt. He is no longer hidden.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about him, and for that reason, he just 76-yard touchdown run. The kid can run, throw, catch. Does it all.
Kniff almost had that pass picked up as he went from the right seam to the left seam to the right sideline looking for Feliciano, and Chase Erb stepped in front of it. If he caught it, it was a touchdown. Instead, he just broke it up. It's an incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 1:03 to go. Chase Erb was a grab away from a pick six, but instead it's 2nd and 10 for Manheim Township.
Instead of sheep, Chase Herb's going to be seeing that in his sleep. That one there he wanted right through his fingertips.
Give is to Fernandez, or is that P.J. Myers in there for the first time? It is Myers who gets his first carry, and he gains maybe a yard. Now Wilson sends a little blood in the water. The Bulldogs are going to call the timeout instead, making sure that Manheim Township can't run the clock out after Myers gets a gain of 2 to the 39, puts Manheim Township in a 3rd and 8. And so the Bulldogs will call the timeout, stops the clock with 53 seconds left to go. Wilson trying to get the stop here, get the football back, and give Mason Young and the offense one more shot. They're down 10-7 late first half. P.J. Myers, who gets his first carry here late in quarter number 2. And Manheim Township still has all 3 of their timeouts, but I think
P.J. Myers was the one that Coach Evans was talking very highly about him, and also
Chase Fletcher. Yep, the two
Fletcher,
sophomores.
Yeah,
he feels he's got 2 huge building blocks for the future.
Yeah, high ceiling for both of them.
3rd down and 8 now for Manheim Township after Wilson's timeout. Kniff has 3 receivers on his right and 1 on his left. He's rolling right, going to hand off back on the counter for Myers. He's got room. Myers to the midfield stripe. Myers dances his way into Wilson territory before he gets popped at the 45-yard line. That will move the sticks as Manheim Township picks up a big first down run from P.J. Myers.
Yeah, now I see why his ceiling is so high. That was just a counter back to the short side of the field for PJ, and he's got some shifty little feet, and some shake. Really nice run by the young sophomore.
And now the complexion changes back in Manheim Township's favor, so now Mark Evans will call a timeout as the Blue Streaks will burn their first timeout because Manheim Township is now in Wilson territory thanks to that 16-yard run for P.J. Myers. Oh, how this game is flip-flopped in the last minute or so in terms of momentum with 42 seconds now remaining in half number 1. All right, just stick around. Coming up, our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show. We'll catch you up to date with what's happened in the first half here, and then throw things back to the WEEU studios where Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob will catch you up to date with all the other scores going on around Berks County and beyond. And there's some big ones tonight in the Lanks 11 League, including Berks Catholic and Anvil Cleona battling for the Section 5 title. Muhlenberg trying to get their stake in on the Section 2 title if they can knock off Conestoga Valley in Laureldale tonight. First down and 10 now for Manheim Township from the Wilson 45. Kniff again in a naked backfield. Has time, throws it across the middle. Passes behind his tight end, but it's caught. Actually, that's not the tight end. That's Zulik who's in there to make the catch. Great catch by him inside the 40 at the 38-yard line.
You're not kidding. Aiden Zulik, he's a sophomore, 6'2", 190-pound wide receiver. That ball was thrown behind him. He did a nice job pulling that ball in, keeping that a completion instead of a incomplete throw there. Nice catch by number 25.
And it goes as a 7-yard gain and to the 38-yard line. So now Manheim Township will call its second timeout as the completion gets them to the 38 with 22 seconds left to go.
Those are the plays when the receiver comes back to the huddle, Bob, you say, hey, really nice grab. Way to pick me up.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Absolutely
you very
correct.
much.
Kniff, best night for him was the win over Hempfield. He was 20 for 23 for 300 yards. As I mentioned in the pregame show, he has thrown 3 touchdowns or more in 5 of Manheim Township's 9 games to date. Nothing so far tonight, but he's done it with his legs. Their lone touchdown was a scramble for the score, a run for a score by Kniff, his 6th rushing touchdown of this season. Right now, he's got 22 seconds left to work with, 1 more timeout left to work with as well, and he's got himself in a 2nd and 3 at the Wilson 38. Must-stop territory here for Wilson's defense to keep that momentum that they have gathered here in the closing 2 minutes of this first half. Fletcher and Dumpster will come out split to the right side. Feliciano and Dixon split to the left side. Kniff, again, time to throw. Now he runs out of time, spins away from the traffic of Glover, gets himself away. Here comes a flag as Kniff runs out of bounds inside the 35 down to about the 33.
smart choice there by Kenneth, pulling that ball down and scrambling, getting down the field out of bounds, running it, because he had Fletcher deep down the field on the right-hand side, but scramble drill, Fletcher needs to come back to the ball, come back to the quarterback, and he was going across the field the other way.
Flag is against Manheim Township, as this is going to cost the Blue Streaks dearly and may just force Mark Evans to take a knee here with now 13 seconds left to go. They're going to walk this penalty off against the Blue Streaks, third penalty of the game against Manheim Township, but it's going to back them all the way up now close to midfield. And actually on the other side of midfield to the Manheim Township 47-yard line. So it remains second down for the Streaks, but now at their own 47. Second down and 18 now coming up for Manheim Township. Again, 13 seconds left to go. We'll see if the Manheim Township doesn't just have Kenneth take a knee here. Receiver split each way. Bulldogs looking at it. Now somebody's running on the field. And it's Luke Wagner, the tight end. They only had 10 men on the field. Wagner quickly lines out and slides up. They'll give it to Fernandez. Fernandez up the middle. And Fernandez fights his way back into Wilson territory at the Bulldog 46 is where he's wrapped up. That's back close to the original line of scrimmage. They will mark Fernandez down at the 46, and the clocks show 0. And so that will be the final play of the first half on this 7-yard run for Marcos Fernandez. And that brings us to halftime. And it is what exactly we expected it to be, a very tight contest between Manheim Township and Wilson, maybe a little bit lower in the scoring category than we thought, but tight nonetheless with the Township Blue Streaks 10, Wilson Bulldogs 7. We'll take a timeout, back with our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show live on WEEU right after this.
Spots Insurance Group is a proud sponsor of Berks County sports. We're an award-winning nationwide agency you can trust, insuring what means most to you for over 32 years. We specialize in auto, home, renters, business, and life insurance. Remember, when you think insurance, think Spots. Visit us at spotsforinsurance.com. That's SPOTTS, 4, insurance.com.
Temperatures dropped and my heating wouldn't kick on, so I called Keith HVAC Electrical and Plumbing. They had it running fast and at a fair price. That was years ago, and I've trusted them ever since. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, Keith does it all. Honest, fast, professional. They've been around for 30 years for a reason. Call Keith HVAC today. You'll be glad you did.
Keith HVAC Electrical and Plumbing. Quality you trust, comfort you deserve. Call 610-589-6461 or visit keithhvac.com.
Tonight's halftime show is brought to you by Lincoln Plumbing. Lincoln Plumbing has the experience of help from a leaky faucet to a whole bathroom remodel. Call 610-376-0863 for Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, as honest as their name. Alongside Matt Lytle, my name is Bob McCool. Halftime here at John Gursky Stadium, and it's the Manheim Township Blue Streaks 10, the Wilson Bulldogs 7 at the break. Both teams struggling at times to move the football. Blue Streaks have definitely had the advantage in terms of field position. They've got the football to start drives twice in Wilson territory. Were able to get a field goal out of it the first time, and that gave the game's first score as Roman Crispino kicked a 31-yard field goal to give Manheim Township the lead first at 3-0, 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Next time Manheim Township got the football was actually their worst field position of the night, started at their own 16-yard line, but they put together a 12-play, 84-yard drive that took up over 6.5 minutes, but they finished it off with a 10-yard run by the quarterback, Jack Kniff, for a 10-0 lead after Crispino's extra point was good. With 8:46 left to go in the half, it was 10-0 Manheim Township, and the Blue Streaks were driving for more. They were driving down. They had it down to a 4th and 1 at the 10. They handed off to Marco Fernandez, but an outstanding play by E.J. Brownback to slip in, and the linebacker tripped him up before he could get the edge and get the first down. Ball back over to Wilson on downs, and a couple plays later, a little counter reverse to the tight end, Michael Glover, and Glover turned the edge and goes 76 yards for the touchdown to finish off the drive, and the extra point good by Preston Oxenrider, and all of a sudden Wilson was right back in the football game with 1:14 left to go in the half, and it was a 10-7 score, and that's exactly where we are at halftime, and it will be Manheim Township who will get the football to start quarter number 3. So 10-7 is our score You're up to date with what's happening in Section 1 in the battle for the title here in West Lawn. I'll throw things now back to Jeff Nolan and Matt Knob back at our WEEU studios for more of our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show and more scores for you right here on WEEU on a Friday night.
We are here from the studios in the second floor. I'm Jeff Nolan. Everybody's actually here. Dalton Moore has been cutting all our sound for us, and Kyle Rudart engineering our game. Maddie, we are in a good one right now. It's been weird. The momentum has shifted back and forth so many times so quickly. You kind of figure out who's got the edge. And right now, at least on the scoreboard, Manheim Township on the road has the lead.
Manheim Township has a 10-7 lead. Sort of a back-and-forth game, like you mentioned, Jeff. Both offenses having a hard time finding a rhythm in the first half, and I think that's why you see that 10-7 score. A little bit of a low-scoring game, but Wilson gets back into it. Arguably their best player, Michael Glover, 76-yard touchdown run, gets the juices flowing for the Bulldogs and gets them back in this game.
All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, we will set you up on the scores and the highlights. It's a big one. We got a lot of stuff going on. It is the score. It is the halftime report here on the Voice of Berks and Beyond, 830 WEEU.
Redner's Markets is a part of the Berks County community, proudly employee, local, and American-owned since 1970. Your support has made Redner's a staple, and your continued commitment is rewarded with the Redner's Rewards Program. Shopping at the markets earns you big savings with grocery deals, special offers and services, and surprise savings. Rewards members save at the pump, too, with discounts on fuel prices at our 7 Redner's Quick Stops and many more select locations. Shop, earn, and save with the Redner's mobile app. Sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it, Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much, he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime here of a 10-7 Manheim Township lead over Wilson with Matt Knob. I'm Jeff Nolan. We'll get you caught up in the scores at the half. Remember, after the game, all the scores and highlights. Rod Frisco joins us at 11 o'clock. Eric Epler at 11:15. We'll all get together and talk about the playoff picture. We set it up for you in the pregame show. Maddie, let's hit scores right now because, again, I just said the Section 1 title on the line. Township with a 10-7 lead over Wilson.
Penn Manor, a big lead over McCaskey, 27-0 at the break. Ryan Guthrie has a 49-yard touchdown run, plus a touchdown catch in that one.
Reading trailing tonight 22-6. They are hosting Hempfield in that one.
Sorry, Jeff. My apologies. Hempfield leads Reading 22-6.
Yes, 22-6. Thank you. That is the repeat version of the show. We are going to go moving forward. Conestoga Valley dominating Muhlenberg right now on the road, 28-0. Sawyer Espinshade with a 19-yard touchdown run. He also has a 25-yard touchdown pass to Josiah Garcia.
Exeter leads over E-Town 28-7 in the second quarter. The Eagles looking to bounce back after the loss last week.
Governor Mifflin was on the playoff bubble. They're watching that pop tonight. Unfortunately, at home tonight, trailing Ephrata 21-10 in the second quarter.
Zelenko 21, Garden Spot 7. The Golden Mules are looking to lock up the sole possession of the Section 3 title, and they're well on their way.
And Warwick and Manheim Central at Warwick tonight. Dave Hahn looking for career win 100. They're going to be hard-pressed to do that for him tonight. Heath Schnipke with a 79-yard touchdown run. Keon Adams with a pick 6 in that one. Matt, if I'm not mistaken, it's the second time that Adams has had a pick 6 this season for a touchdown.
You might be correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Warwick up 28-7. Let's take another timeout. When we come back, we'll finish the scores and set up the rest of the night. At the break of our game, Manheim Township leads Wilson 10-7 on the Voice of Berks and Beyond, 830 WEEU.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all. From residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis. no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime of our game. Manheim Township leading right now over Wilson 10-7. We'll get back to that game. Don't forget, if you're listening to us on the radio or online, that's a video game. YouTube channel 830 WEEU Sports, totally free to you. All our games are and they're archived as well. And again, go head over to our YouTube channel. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We're actually on the YouTube channel. They don't put our pictures up there. They put a big advertising billboard, and they let our voices run underneath. So that is a contract discussion for next year, don't you think, Matt?
A little bit of the banter is what you hear while you see the banner and the band on the field.
It's been referred to often as mindless and senseless, but I've asked my wife to stop posting on those certain websites. All right, let's look at now what's going on here. It is Cocalico and Fleetwood. Cocalico with a 2-touchdown lead over Fleetwood, 28-14. Mr. Bo Fagley with a 5-yard touchdown run and a 67-yard touchdown run for the Tigers, but Cocalico's answered back with 4 touchdowns of their own.
Unionville leads Conrad Weiser 21-3 in a non-league game this evening. In a league game in Section 4, it's all Y missing. They lead LS 25-0 at the half. Chase Eisenhower had a 4-yard touchdown run, and Justice Hardy added 2 touchdowns for the Spartans.
Yeah, I want to go to 830 Scores. You can follow that game. Why I'm missing in Lampeter Strasburg with A.J. Gonzalez. He's got a bunch of the touchdowns up and the scoring updates. Muhlenberg and Conestoga Valley, our Gracie Raleigh and Sophie Siemens are posting touchdowns and scoring updates there. And Berks Catholic and Annville Cleono, our Adam Cook is there posting touchdowns and scoring updates there. Speedway, do you like numbers, Matt?
Numbers aren't my strong suit, as you know, Jeff, but I had much against them.
Okay, well, don't be against Twin Valley. They've got 51 numbers up tonight against Daniel Boone, 51-0 there in the second quarter. That will just roll clock in the second half. What's going on between Octorara and Donegal? Hold on, we've got an update from Dalton Moore. Dalton.
Just to correct you a little bit earlier, Jeff, the Exeter score is 21-0, not 28-7.
What is the Exeter score?
21-0 Exeter over Elizabethtown.
Okay, mental note. Don't call on Dalton because all he does is correct me. Matt, how about you?
Elko leads Northern Lebanon 35-0. Elko on the playoff bubble coming into tonight. Needs a win, and it looks like they're going to easily get it here.
How about this? Annville Cleone and Berks Catholic. This game tied up at 7. Jeremiah Kamara with a rushing touchdown for the Saints in there. Let's go to Dalton. Schuylkill Valley and Lancaster Catholic. You've been following that a little bit.
Yeah. It's all tied up at halftime on 2 early scores by both Lancaster Catholic and Schuylkill Valley.
All right, playoff bubble for Lancaster Catholic. Schuylkill Valley looks like they are in. Hamburg and Columbia. Columbia, another playoff bubble team, Matty.
Columbia leads the Hawks 12-0 in the second quarter, as you mentioned, Jeff, on the playoff bubble after just several rough seasons in a row. What a story it would be if Columbia can make the playoffs this season.
All right, Dalton. I know you want to talk about Kutztown and Pequay Valley.
Pequay Valley tied it up right before halftime with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it all up 22-22 going into halftime.
Pequay Valley goes back-to-back touchdowns and 2-point conversions to tie this game up. Does Kutztown play defense?
It's the last week of the season, Jeff. They're just emptying the playbook.
Let's go out to the Pac-10. What do you got happening there, Matt?
Pac championship game. Springford leads Upper Perk 7-3 in that one.
Okay. Now, we go off the grid a little bit. Southern Columbia leads Shikellamy 28-21 at the half. Mount Carmel over Shamokin. That's a surprise. 14-7. That is at the break. LaSalle is playing Father Judge tonight. That's a 35-0 lead for the Explorers. Neshaminy Pennsbury tonight. Boy, I could tell you the kids about the history of Neshaminy and Pennsbury. Neshaminy up 14-7 at Falcon Field tonight in that one. My thanks to the old guy in Florida that sends me scores and follows us here on the radio and on YouTube as well. All right, so after the game, Matt, we let everybody know Hot Rod, the amazing Rod Frisco, joining us at 11 o'clock. We're going to go over the playoff picture. Eric Epler is going to join us on about 11:15. He'll join in on the conversation, but we will give you updates from the Annville, Cleona, Berks Catholic game, Muhlenberg, Conestoga Valley. Also, we've got an update from Lampeter Strasburg along with the Wyomissing game right there. Central York and York High, which Central York is running away with. We'll get Jack Gleckler in on that one. Bob will talk about this game as well. So we've got a whole lot going on. So Dalton and Kyle are going to hang around. Matt's going to hang around, and I'm going to hang around. You hang around, too, because after this break, we're going to send it back out to Bob and Matt. 10-7, Township leads Wilson at the break. Go to the YouTube channel. That's where all the great action is at 8:30 WEEU Sports. We'll see everybody after the game.
Updating your furniture and appliances? The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County can help. The Restore offers free pickup of your gently used furniture and appliances from your Berks County home. We offer convenient scheduling for our free pickups through our website, restoreberks.org. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. You might just find that special thing to tie the room together at the Restore. Support your community with your donation to the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it, Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much, he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition.
Welcome back as we wind our way through our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show. Here are some numbers for you in tonight's football game. And Wilson, with the late start offensively, ended up with 4 first downs in the football game to 8 for Manheim Township. The play to Michael Glover, we did find out at halftime, actually went down statistically as a forward pass. It was a little shovel pass with Glover, so it actually goes as a pass completed to Glover, and then he did the running after that was over. So it goes down as passing yardage for Mason Young. So he's 4 for 7 in the first half for 98 yards, a touchdown to go along with the interception. And Glover with that touchdown pass, his second catch of the day. He had the first touch went for a 7-yard completion for a first down, and on the next play, the little shovel pass for Glover goes for 76 yards and a touchdown. And so the Bulldogs got that touchdown as a result of it. Kniff in the first half, 7 for 12 throwing the football for 80 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. He has the one touchdown as well, running it for 10 yards on his only carry of the night. And, Matt, just talking through this football game in the first half, I would tell you that the one thing that I would think that Wilson may make adjustments to in the second half, Ernie Wolber, their defensive coordinator, been here with Doug Dons for a long time. Kniff was pretty clean in that first half. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback tonight. Now, again, a lot of that is what they do and schematically, but it wouldn't seem like the Bulldogs were able to get a whole lot of pressure on Kniff. Maybe that's an adjustment they make at halftime to try to get a little pressure on the quarterback.
I would say, and the pressure they did put on him, he used his feet. He used his feet, scrambled, got out of bounds, and used his feet to score that rushing touchdown. But I would agree. I think where Township has beat Wilson in the first half is consistency on the ground, running the ball. They had 95 yards rushing versus Wilson's, 19.
Right.
So definitely a balanced attack, more of a balanced attack with Township versus Wilson that really just didn't have any offense or anything until that last drive there with Glover doing the majority of it on on the stick route and then taking it the distance with a little shovel pass for 76 yards.
So the other thing that Manheim Township has had the advantage of, and that is field position, because they get the football a couple of times in Wilson territory. And, of course, the one time on the game's lone turnover was that interception by the Mason Young threw. And, again, Kniff almost threw an interception. Chase Herb was not – actually almost threw 2 interceptions. Mel Gaston knocked down one at the line of scrimmage, and then Chase Herb almost was able to pick one off and could have taken it to the house. He knocked it down. He did his job, which is to make the pass go incomplete. But, what could have been perhaps. But the Blue Streaks did not turn the football over in half number 1, and they will get the football to start half number 2. Reminder of sports coming up this weekend. The Penn State Nittany Lions have a bye this week, so it'll be 76ers basketball tomorrow night here on WEU as they host the Charlotte Hornets, the home debut for the 76ers. How about the job that rookie VJ Edgecombe did for the 76ers in his debut with 34 points to go along with Tyrese Maxey's 40 in their win over the Boston Celtics. So the Sixers and Hornets tomorrow night on 8:30 a.m. WEU in Reading. And, of course, Sunday is Eagles football as the Eagles will host the New York Giants. 1 o'clock is kickoff time. Merrill Reese and Mike Quick will have the call of the game as the Eagles face the New York Giants at Lincoln Financial Field. Again, next Friday, we'll start our coverage with Nittany Extras. We'll get you set for Penn State and Ohio State. Rich Garcello will join me for Nittany Extra at 6 o'clock next Friday night. Then we'll have high school football on the first night of District 3 playoffs next Friday night. 6:30 will be our pregame show. 7 o'clock will be our kickoff. We don't know where we'll be or we don't know who will be called, but we'll have a high school football game for you as the District 3 playoffs continue. You start the season, you always talk about you got to win. You want to win your home opener, you want to win your division, and you want to play in week number 11. That's the case for a number of teams, including these two teams who want to win their final game of the regular season and win the section. They have already punched their ticket, not just to week 11, but really to week 12, because they'll both have a bye in next year's District 3 6A playoff. So a big thing for them. And if you think about that aspect of it, Matt, there's no reason to not lay everything out on the line right now for these two teams. You got this week, you got the section on the line, and you have next week off. You got a bye week next week to try to force the field here and flip it into your favor.
I think, to your point, Bob, I think seeding is also important for them as well. Not only their state ranking, but their district seeding. Who will be their opponent as a 1 versus a 2 or a 2 versus a 3?
Absolutely correct. Right now, if it ends the way it is right now, Manheim Township is the 3 and Wilson is the 4. The thought is that if Wilson wins the football game, that would flip once all the wins and losses and opponent win percentages are starting to calculate. So Manheim Township, we said, will get the football to start the second half. Feliciano on the kickoff return, and it's a nice kickoff. Started from about his own 10-yard line, across the 20, 25, 30, and eventually Alan Feliciano is run out of bounds at about the 36-yard line, and that's where the Streaks will start half number 2.
Yeah, great kick return there. Great field position to start it out for the Blue Streaks, all the way out to their own, 34-yard line?
Wait until they officially
Or
spot it.
35, yeah.
Somewhere in the 35. Looks like it is. Right at the 35-yard line is where Manheim Township will start. So, again, Kenneth, first half, 7 for 12, 80 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And no surprise that Darius Dixon was his leading receiver with 3 first-half catches. Marcos Fernandez is the back in the backfield. Play-action fake to him. Little quick hitter. Pass is caught across the 40.
See, great play call there by Mike Evans in the Blue Streaks. You know, you come out at halftime, you get your quarterback settled in right away. Jack Kniff, just a boundary hitch route to your number 1 receiver in Darius Dixon. Nice throw and catch for 5-6 yard gain. Yep. Can't beat that to start off the half.
To the 41-yard line, it is a 6-yard completion to Dixon. Then Dixon, the lone returning starter among the receiving corps. Dumpster comes split to the left side. Dixon split to the right. And the give is to Fernandez. Fernandez runs right into the back of one of his blockers, and a flag comes down as he goes down at about the 43-yard line. As Marcos Fernandez ran right into the back of one of his blockers and knocked him over, and then the flag comes in behind it, and it's going to be a hold against Manheim Township. So a little bit of a Bronx cheer from the Wilson faithful in front of us, who have seen their team get banged for 4 holding penalties in that first half. This time it goes against Manheim Township, backs the Blue Streaks up instead, back to the 31-yard line. So the 10-yard penalty will put Manheim Township in a 2nd and 14, now at their 31-yard line.
And Manheim Township with 8 first downs in the first half, 5 on the ground and 3 through the air. And that's the balance we've talked about with Manheim Township. They're almost 50% throughout the season in terms of rushing yards and passing yards. Fernandez, sidecar left of Kenneth. The other WEEU is on a wing on the right. Another little slip screen pass. Pass is caught. 45 and 50. First down run after the catch by Darius Dixon into Wilson territory and brought down at the Bulldog 47-yard line.
Nice little flanker screen there to Darius Dixon. They're trying to get him the ball out on the perimeter. And a heck of a play by E.J. Brownback getting down the field, making that tackle on Darius Dixon, because Darius Dixon picked up the speed and was turning on the burners. Nice touchdown saving tackle there by Brownback.
But it is a 22-yard pickup for Dixon, and into Wilson territory again is Manheim Township on a 1st and 10 now at the Bulldog 47-yard line. Right back to the ground game in Fernandez, and Fernandez goes across the 45 and down close to the 40. They'll spot him down. His knee hits the ground at the 41. It's a 6-yard pickup for Marcos Fernandez on first down.
Big gainer there for Fernandez. Just a gap, just dive out of the gun. Kinnick handed off to Fernandez right up the gut, and 6 yards had a clip last series and this series.
Manheim Township doing that between the little flanker screens to Darius Dixon. Now the run by Fernandez. Simon Dumser will split out to the right, and to the left side this time comes Aiden Zulik. And the give is to Fernandez. Nothing to the right, cuts it back to the left and picks up a little, but not enough. Gaston is there to wrap him up. Had some help shy of the first down marker at about the 39-yard line. And it was Brownback was the other tackler there for the Bulldogs at the 39. It's a gain of 2, and it's 3rd down and 2.
I think that was Matthew Wyatt, sophomore linebacker, who made the first stop on Fernandez, couldn't bring him down, and then Brownback and Gaston cleaned him up.
Big spot here for the Bulldog defense. 3rd down and 2 at the Wilson 39-yard line for Manheim Township. WEEU is a wing on the left, and Fernandez will go the other way and pick up the first down. Good blocking up front, a big hole for Fernandez to run through. Gets himself to the 35-yard line, needed 2 and got 4. First down, Blue Streaks.
Yeah, a little off-tackle trap there for Fernandez. Fernandez hit that hole hard, dove forward across the sticks for the first down.
You're listening to high school football at 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading. 8:40 left to go in the third quarter. Manheim Township with the football to start this third quarter, and now methodically moving down the field. Started at their own 35. They now have it at the Bulldog 35, and they lead it 10-7. Dixon will split out to the left. Dumster will split to the right. Malachi Minguez is in there now as a second tight end. He's on the left side. The other WEEU is a wing on the right. Kenneth, pump fake, looking for Dixon on a one-on-one coverage, floats it up in the air. The ball's up in the air, and Dixon wins the battle, comes down with it at the 3-yard line. First down, goal to go.
Interesting. That was a two-man receiver route. You had Dumser out here on the left, and you had Dixon on the far side, and they ran a little hitch and go. Both. It was mirrored on both sides of the ball, and Darius Dixon did a really nice job using his body to bring that ball down for a big play and a first down all the way down to the Wilson 2.
A 32-yard pickup and a fumble on the center exchange. It looks like Manheim Township will fall on it. They'll pull the bodies off the pile, and the Blue Streaks dodge a bullet there as Kenneth and the company will cover it. No turnover. It's going to be second down and goal now at the 3-yard line. So could have been a catastrophe there for Manheim Township, but instead they get another chance here on second and goal. Again, the jump ball that's won by Darius Dixon. That is his 6th catch of the football game, and now over 100 yards in receiving on the night. His career high against Cedar Crest, he had 9 catches for 195 yards earlier this year. Second and goal from the 3. Play action fake, Kenneth, and will throw and wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Manheim Township. Slipping behind everybody was Devin Luano in there as an extra blocker. Slipped off the line of scrimmage and in wide open for the end zone for the touchdown from 3 yards out.
That may have been like one of their 2-point conversion type of plays, because that was a beautiful play action pass there, faking it to Fernandez and throwing it into the corner of the end zone for Devin Luano, who was completely uncovered. Touchdown, Blue Streaks.
So Manheim Township takes the football to start the second half and takes it the distance to put the ball in the end zone. On comes Rowan Crispino now to attempt the extra point. And that kick is good. 7 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Manheim Township increases their lead. It's now the Blue Streaks 17, Wilson 7. Wilson will get the football for the first time in the second half when we come back to John Gursky Stadium in West Lawn after this.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Temperatures dropped and my heating wouldn't kick on, so I called Keith HVAC Electrical and Plumbing. They had it running fast and at a fair price. That was years ago, and I've trusted them ever since. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, Keith does it all. Honest, fast, professional. They've been around for 30 years for a reason. Call Keith HVAC today. You'll be glad you did.
Keith HVAC Electrical and Plumbing. Quality you trust, comfort you deserve. Call 610-589-6461 or visit keithhvac.com.
An 8-play, 65-yard drive for the Manheim Township Blue Streaks. So ate up almost 5 minutes of the third quarter clock. And Jack Kiddiff finds Devin Luano for 3 yards and a touchdown. Blue Streaks increased their lead to 17-7. And Monty Greer lets the ball hit on the ground, and Manheim Township almost recovered it.
Wow.
The Bulldogs just dodged a major bullet
as
Aiden Zulik had a chance to recover it, couldn't grab it, and Greer fell on it.
Aiden Zulik dove. He was the first person to touch that ball all the way down to the Wilson 18-yard line, dove onto the ball, somehow slipped out from under him, and Jaden Carpenter ended up getting on it.
So Wilson, lots of hearts stopped on the sidelines for the Bulldogs as Manheim Township was just about to have the football right back, but instead here comes Mason Young and company, down now 17-7, 1st and 10 from their 21-yard line. Glover shifts from right wing to left. And a whistle before the snap of the football. Manheim Township may have jumped. They did. Second time in this football game that Manheim Township has jumped off sides defensively. 4th penalty of the game against the Blue Streaks. And it will be a 1st and 5 now for Wilson from the 26-yard line. Glover again is a wing on the right. Damian Greer slot left. Jaden Carpenter split left. Here's the handoff back for Glover. This time Manheim Township is waiting for him, and it's Taylor Veyu who is there to wrap him up, and Glover gets nothing, maybe a yard to the 26, and that's it.
Yeah, Glover went in motion and just kind of in little whirly spin back to the boundary. Mason Young handed it off to him, and not a whole lot going here at the boundary side of the field. Veyu and Fernandez on the tackle.
No gain on the play. It's 2nd down and 5. Again, Glover's on a wing on the right, and again, he'll shift to the left. Greer again, slot left. Carpenter split left. Going to flip it out for Akings now, hoping that Glover can get him a block. He won't get much as an excellent open field tackle is made by Chase Fletcher at about the 28, maybe the 29. Wilson will be in a 3rd down spot here.
Yeah, a little swing route out to the field to Coral Akings and just gets him out on the boundary. But great open field tackle to your point, Bob. Chase Fletcher making a big play, bringing down Akins.
Goes as
solo
just
tackle.
A 3-yard gain, so it's 3rd down and 2 now for Wilson from their 29. First catch of the game for Corell Akings. He's lined up in the backfield, sidecar left of Mason Young on 3rd and 2. Movement before the snap. Glover mistimed the snap, and it's going to cost Wilson 5 yards. Michael Glover started in motion just as the ball was about to get snapped. And so Wilson, who got penalized 5 times in the first half, gets hit for 5 more here. So now instead of 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 7. So we'll see what Jeremy Palm and the offense opt to do here instead. Palm, the offensive coordinator for the Bulldogs. He has his team in a 3rd and 7 at the 29-yard line. 2 receivers to the right in Erb and Greer, and that's the way that Mason Young is rolling. Pass fires, and it's caught. It's Chase Erb who makes the catch, and it's good for a 1st down.
Herb just got himself enough, got himself beyond the sticks, got himself to the 34, and the Bulldogs moved the chains.
Yeah, Mason Young throwing, sprint out, three-man route late with Michael Glover into the flat, but really nice throw there into traffic to Chase Herb. Chase Herb coming up with a big catch, but a flag is on. Flag is down.
I did not see the flag call, but based on the body language of Wilson, this is it's Manheim Township. Flag thrown on the other side of the field. It's actually a personal foul against the Blue Streaks. This is going to be a big help for Wilson. I mean, 15 yards on top of the end of the play. The end of the play was out to the 33. So a 4-yard gain on the play plus 15 more on the personal foul penalty. Puts Wilson now out close to midfield. This should put the ball at the 48-yard line on a first down on a 15-yard penalty against Manheim Township. A costly penalty for the Blue Streaks. First and 10, now spotted actually at the 49-yard line. 5:37 left to go in the third. Bulldogs down 10, have it first and 10 now at the 49-yard line.
First and 10, Wilson on the 49-yard line.
Herb is split out on the right side. Carpenter split out on the left. Damian Greer slot on the left. Play action fake. Young has time. He's going to dump it off. A screen pass for Akings. He's got room to run. 40, 35, 30. And finally, Carell Akings is corralled down inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line, and the Bulldogs will move the chains again.
One of the nicest throws tonight by Mason Young. He had a four-man. He had twins to the left, twins to the right, down the field throw, seam routes, and he was patient. Dropped it off to Akins. Akins had big play down the sidelines out of the backfield for a gain of, 23 yards.
23 down to the 28, first and 10. Monty Greer now in as a receiver. He split out on the right side with Glover now at the line of scrimmage. Now Greer goes in motion right side to left. Loops back around his all window dressing. Akins. No, it's going to be Young on a quarterback keeper on the option. Young gets a block downfield. He's inside the 20 and down close to the 15-yard line. This will be another Wilson first down on the quarterback option keep.
Great misdirection there by Jeremy Palm and Chad Henney. Faking to Akins, bringing Monty Greer around as the pitch man into the boundary, having Young run it, having an option to kick it. Young did a nice job with his feet, keeping it for a first down.
11-yard run for Mason Young for the first down at the 17. Bulldogs on a streak here at the Manheim Township 17-yard line. Again, same look. This time they fake the handoff to Greer, and Young wants to throw it. He's going to throw it to Greer. Greer makes the catch, tries to stay in bounds, and eventually Manheim Township will wrap him up inside the 15 at the 13. It's a 4-yard completion on first down.
Again, Young looking for Michael Glover in the corner of the end zone, running a corner route from the short side of the field. Didn't like what he saw, dropped it down to Greer for a short gain.
4 straight completions now for Mason Young in this series, and now we have a Manheim Township player shaken up on the play. Looks like a cramping issue for that defensive player for the Blue Streaks who was on it, and that's Darius Dixon is the player. So that's an expensive piece of property. They're stretching out that muscle because Dixon's had himself a big night both sides of the field for Manheim Township. And Wilson right now needing to punch something in here. They're down 17-7 with a fast-moving third quarter. Again, Manheim Township used up almost 5 minutes of the clock on their drive. It took them 8 plays and 65 yards for the score. So Wilson now trying to counter it and get a score of their own on their first touch here in quarter number 3. As they continue to check on senior wide receiver defensive back Darius Dixon for the Blue Streaks. Gives the Wilson Bulldogs a little bit of a chance to catch their breath offensively. Call a couple plays here as to what they want to do following the injury timeout. Mind you to stick around coming up after tonight's football game. We'll again go back to the WEEU studios. Jeff Nolan and Matt Knob will fill you in on all the games going on a big night of high school football. Lots to be determined tonight in addition to this Section 1 battle. There's Berks Catholic and Anvil Cleona battling for the Section 5 title. Muhlenberg trying to make some kind of an impact on Section 2, but Conestoga Valley had a lead on them at halftime. If the Mules would win that game, it would be a 3-way tie atop Section 2. Dixon able to run off the field under his own power, so that's a good sign. Second down and 6 for the Bulldogs following the Manheim Township injury timeout. Carell Akings is the back in the backfield. Sidecar left of Mason Young, who's got 2 receivers tight on the right side. Glover is one of them.
Monty Greer is the other. He's got two receivers tight on the left side as well. Lots of shifting on the Blue Streak side. Now Greer goes in motion again. They'll hand it off to him on a jet sweep. Needs a block. He's got the 10. He's got the 5 and dives. Is he in? Touchdown Bulldogs. Monty Greer on the jet sweep will take it in for the score from 13 yards out.
Great dial up of a play there. That was Monty Greer again coming in motion. Instead of doing the whirlwind motion coming back into the boundary, he just kept going, followed Akins. Akins made a heck of a block to really get Greer into the end zone. So Akins, great job as a lead blocker on that play.
To your point, Matt, that's a little bit of a setup play after play of having Greer. He did it 3 plays in a row where Greer came around and looped around. And on this third time, no, we're not going to loop him around. We're just going to hand it off to him and get the edge. So it's a series of setups to ultimately give it to Greer. And now on for the extra point is the freshman Preston Oxenrider, and his extra point is good. And a flag comes in after the play, a little pushing and shoving after the play's over with, will not affect the extra point. 4 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Manheim Township scored on its first possession of the second half. Wilson the same. And so now the score, the Blue Streaks 17, Wilson 14, back with more high school football live at 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading after this.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
Redner's Markets makes grocery shopping more convenient with Redner's Ready. Shop online and place your order as far as 4 days ahead or as little as 2 hours before pickup at your selected store. Our personal shoppers handpick your items and accommodate any personal instructions for your grocery needs. There's no difference between in-store and online pricing and no extra cost for pickup. And you can even have your order delivered by DoorDash for a small fee. Skip the trip with Redner's Ready. Shop online at rednersmarkets.com.
Monty Greer's third rushing touchdown of the season pulls Wilson right back to within a field goal. So both teams capitalizing here. But as I said, going to break, there was a flag thrown after the extra point was good. And so it's going to be a 15-yard personal foul penalty against Wilson. And so it's going to be assessed on the kickoff. And Wilson will kick off from deep in its own territory. It's the 7th penalty marked off against Wilson. And Manheim Township's declined a couple of penalties against the Bulldogs tonight. So they will kick off from very deep in their own territory. So they're actually going to kick this from what looks like the 17-yard line. So there must have been 2 personal foul penalties thrown in there, and the second one's half the distance. So they're going to put this at the 17-yard line, and that's where Wilson will kick off from. And again, this is a great opportunity for Manheim Township. We said this at halftime, that the Blue Streaks have most definitely won the battle of field position in this game, and this is going to add to it. They've got this spotted wrong, and now they're trying to fix it. Mark Evans is lobbying the case that it shouldn't be at the 17, it should be further back, because it's 35 back to the 20, and then half the distance should be 7 yards back to about the 12 or 13-yard line. That's where they've got it. So now they got it figured out. So it's basically a 22-yard penalty, a personal foul penalty of 15, and then half the distance on the second. Puts them Wilson back at the 12-yard line is where Oxenrider will kick it off. So Feliciano and company with a chance to put the Blue Streaks in Wilson territory on this kickoff return. Oxenrider now doing the kickoff. The freshman has been doing all the place kicking for Wilson this year, but he had not been kicking off. Eli Dean was doing their kickoffs, but as we mentioned at the beginning of the game, Eli Dean unfortunately suffered an injury last week. He is out. So Oxenrider kicks it off. Feliciano will get a return. Good kick, and it's only back to the 33, to the 40, 45 in midfield. Feliciano in Wilson territory, still on his feet across the 40, 35 and 30. Feliciano eventually angled out of bounds by Oxenrider all the way down to the Bulldog 25-yard line. The field position again in Manheim Township's favor
in Wilson territory.
Positive there, Oxenrider, really nice kick, from his own 13-yard line all the way down to the Blue Streaks. I want to say
33 is where he started. Yeah, it's a great
kickoff.
And a better return by Feliciano all the way to the 25-yard line of Wilson. So the defense for the Bulldogs backed up to start here on this drive as Manheim Township, for the third time in this football game, starts a series in Bulldog territory on those two personal foul penalties that backed up the kickoff.
I was looking to see Oxenrider, see if he was going to lay the wood. Most of those kickers, some of those kickers, they get all into it. They want to just lower the shoulders and hit somebody because they're so tired of just kicking the ball.
Instead, Feliciano just kind of angled it out of bounds. And now I'm not quite sure what the delay is. The ball spotted at the 25-yard line, but for some reason, officials have not started play here, and they're looking to the Bulldogs sideline. Play clocks are off. I guess that's the reason for the delay.
No drones tonight, right?
No, we did not have that third quarter's game start of delay of a drone. We had that earlier this season. So now the officials have given the signal to start. Not sure again what the delay was, but 4:10 left to go in the third. 17-14, Manheim Township on top, and the Blue Streaks start at the Bulldog 25-yard line. Three receivers for Kniff on his right, one on his left. The give is to Fernandez, and the senior running back will push his way to about the 20 and a gain of 5 on first down. Actually, at the 21, give him 4.
Yeah, off tackle there, just hand off. It was off tackle to the right by Fernandez. Fernandez just getting some hard-fought yards there for a gain of 4 to 5 yards. 4 yards on the play.
Darius Dixon, who was shaken up in that last defensive series for Manheim Township, is back out there for the Blue Streaks. As Taylor WEEU now will check back in. Line up as that H-back. Dixon will split out to the right. Simon Dumser will come to the left. And Chase Fletcher is slot to the left. And now he'll go in motion, looping around the quarterback, Kniff, who will hand it off again for Fernandez. Fernandez knifes his way to about the 17. A gain of 4 more. Back-to-back 4-yard runs for Marcos Fernandez. Has the Blue Streaks in a 3rd and 2.
Nice little formation and window dressing, but bringing Fletcher in motion there, thinking Fletcher's going to get the ball on a wide route or a glorified sweep, little pass. Instead, hands off to Fernandez up the middle again. Actually, this was more a gap up the middle for a shorter gain of about 3.
They're down, and we'll call it 2, probably a short 2 to pick up the first down at the 17 for the Blue Streaks. Dumser this time split right, Dixon split left. Doesn't matter. They're going to run the ball again with Fernandez. Slips out of a hand on a tackle by Brownback and wakes his way to what should be a first down, but it's close. They've got to get across the 16 to get the first down. And I don't know that he got there or not as he slipped out of that tackle for Brownback. They're going to spot him short. It's going to be 4th down, and officially we'll call it 4th and a yard at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, really nice job there by Brownback coming up and meeting him around the 17-yard line and bringing them down to 16. They need a yard. They need to get to the 15.
Avery Menard in there now for Wilson. Will give them a little extra bulk at the line of scrimmage. Everybody's lined up. And now somebody's not lined up right because here comes a flag. They had everybody but Darius Dixon at the line of scrimmage at Manheim Township side, and everybody but the defensive back, Jaden Carpenter, with Dixon. It was 10 on 10 at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like the tush push was coming.
But it's flag
False
against
start.
Manheim Township.
False
So
start,
we'll
Township.
see if that doesn't change Mark Evans' mind here. It backs them up to the 21. It's going to make it 4th and 6. Will he send on the field goal unit? Crispino made a 31-yard field goal in the first half, and looks like that's what's going to happen here. So the penalty changes the decision-making and forces the Blue Streaks to try and kick a field goal instead, and this will be a 38-yard attempt. So junior kicker Rowan Crispino with Riley Rontal as the holder, attempting a 38-yard field goal. Snap a little high. They get it down. The kick, is it good? It's just over the crossbar for the field goal. At 1:27 left to go, Manheim Township adds to its lead.
The 38-yard field goal from Crispino, just enough, and it's a 20-14 advantage in favor of Manheim Township. And, Matt, I got to be honest with you. If I'm Wilson, based on how that started, with Manheim Township getting the ball at the 25-yard line, to come out of there just giving up a field goal and you're still a touchdown away from taking a lead, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win for Wilson when they were kicking off on their 13-yard line for sure. Really nice job by Crispino. I mean, he had a lot of pressure there. Wilson was coming after that kick too. He did a nice job putting that in between the uprights, putting the Blue Streaks up 6.
So Wilson has never led this football game. They have a chance now if they can convert on the other end with still 1:27 left to go in the third quarter. And it's a 6-point advantage for Manheim Township, 20-14. Monty Greer back there again for the kickoff. I would imagine there was a conversation with Monty before he went back out on the field after the way this third quarter started when the ball was on the ground and almost turned it over.
Yeah, Aiden Zulik almost had he had a gift right there, all the way down to the 18-yard line.
So Greer is back there with Corell Akings. Greer has had a couple of nice kickoff returns in this football game for Wilson. But again, the ball hit the ground, and he just kind of stood there for a moment, didn't react to it.
He has very deceiving speed, like I was saying. He's shifty, and he can start from 0 to 60 pretty quick, and good lateral movement on his returns. I don't know about 60, but I don't know, full sprint for him. How many miles per hour? Maybe 15?
Yeah, you got to figure Saquon's at 22 or 23. So this will be Greer from his own 10. He dropped the football, picks it back up. 15, 20, looking for a block, works his way to about the 25, and that's where Wilson will start. 1:18 to go in the third quarter. It's a 20-14 Manheim Township advantage, and Wilson has the football for the second time in this second half, starting from their own, looks like 26-yard line. So Mason Young having himself a good start to the second half. He's 4 for 4 coming out of the locker room, and now 8 for 11 in the football game after what was a rough start. First 3 passes, incomplete, interception, incomplete. Since then, nothing but completions. Again, from the 26, Damian Greer slot left, Jaden Carpenter split left, Glover wing right. Young wants to throw for it, has time, looking for the home run. Nothing there. He's going to take off and run with it. Young across the 30, 35, and out of bounds, very close to the first down marker at the 36-yard line, depending on where he stepped out of bounds.
Great job with his eyes down the field, looking like he's going to throw it and just tuck the ball, got the yards for a first down. Nice scramble for the first down by Mason Young.
So
moving the sticks.
Wilson had just 4 first downs in the first half. That first down run for Mason Young gives them now 8 in this second half alone, and they're out to the 37-yard line on the 11-yard scramble for a first down from Mason Young. This time the give is to Akings. Akings slips off a block, slips a tackler across the 45. Good tough running for Corell Akings, and that's almost going to be a first down as well.
Yeah, great call there. It is. I mean, they're marking maybe just inch or two shy, but no, Spot looks like he's got it.
How do you get to the 47? And they just moved. They just signaled the chain crew to move it. Zach Bomberger had a shot at him at about the 2 or 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, but Akings had other ideas and runs it to the 47 and a first down pickup again for Wilson. Here's another run and another flag on the play as they're across midfield and eventually brought down at about the Blue Streak 45-yard line. As again, it was Akings with the ball, but another flag thrown behind the Wilson offense.
Just power running there for the Wilson Bulldogs into the boundary, leading Michael Glover in front of Akins on some hard-fought yards.
But another holding penalty called against the Bulldogs. So instead of being in Manheim Township territory, Wilson going to be right back on their side of the 50 and now 10 yards further back from the line of scrimmage. So this will be 1st and 20 now for Wilson, back at the 37-yard line. So the penalties banging Wilson hard in this football game. And now instead of having it at the Township 45, they're at their own 37. Damian Greer split out on the right. Glover is actually in a slot on the left side with Carpenter split left. Young is going to flip it out for Carpenter. Needs a block from Glover. Has it. 45-50, and Carpenter eventually angled out of bounds right around midfield. So they get back what they lost on the holding penalty plus a little bit more and a gain of about 13 yards.
Yeah, nice. Again, getting your playmakers the ball on the boundary out on the perimeter. Carpenter, little bubble screen with Glover and Damian Greer out in front of him, lead block.
So to the 50-yard line, gain of 13 puts Wilson in a 2nd and 7 now. Carpenter is now split on the right side with Damian Glover slot right. And, Damian Greer slot right. Glover on a wing on the left now, motions to the right side. Young looking that way. Nothing there. He's going to step up in the pocket. Wrapped up and brought down as Mason Young cannot get free. Dropped for a sack on a loss of a yard on the play. Back to the 48-yard line, a loss of 2.
Yeah, really nice job there by the Blue Streaks, putting pressure on Mason Young, and Mason keeping his eyes down the field, trying to make stuff happen, but just the pressure collapsing in on him. Nice play by Will Milazzo, senior, 6'3", 235-pound defensive tackle for the Blue Streaks.
That is the final play of the third quarter. So both teams picking up the pace offensively. Manheim Township gets a score. Wilson counters it. And then the Blue Streaks with a field goal. That's where we stand after 3 quarters. The battle for the Section 1 title in the Lancaster 11 League is down to the final 12 minutes. Manheim Township 20, Wilson 14. Bulldogs have the football when we get back for quarter number 4. High school football presented by Savage Auto Group is live on WEEU in Reddick.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
Fourth quarter football presented by Financial Planning Advisors. Their team of professional advisors can help guide your investment planning, retirement planning, or planning for costs of your child's college education. Less than 2% of high school athletes receive a college scholarship. Financial Planning Advisors can help you plan for the increasing costs of college. If Financial Planning Advisors working on your team, call them 610-376-6334 or go to financialpa.com. First play of the fourth quarter. Young looking for somebody to break free. Finally dumps it off short. Pass is caught by Carpenter for what looks to be a Bulldog first down in Manheim Township territory at the Blue Streak 40-yard line.
Nice little shallow cross there by Carpenter. Mason Young throwing a nice ball to him, getting it up the field for a first down, getting out of bounds.
At the Manheim Township 39-yard line, a gain of 13. Second catch in this drive for Carpenter, his only 2 catches in the football game, as this string of completions for Mason Young continues, as he hits Carpenter for 13 more yards. And more importantly, Bulldogs still breathing here. First and 10 now at the 39-yard line, down 20-14. Toss pitch for Akings. Akings turns upfield, runs right at Devin Luano, the middle linebacker, comes up and wrap him up. Gain of about 2 to the 36, and that's it.
2 tight ends set here into the boundary for Wilson with Glover and Farrell lead blocking, and you have Mason Young and his running back on a veer option, little gain of 4 yards.
Braden Farrell is his second tight end. It's a low snap, and the ball's on the ground, and Manheim Township will recover it. The ball snapped back, hit Young in his ankle, and it was recovered by Max Kolbrenner, and a turnover gives it back to Manheim Township on the fumble. Second turnover of the football game, and they've both been by the Wilson Bulldogs. And with 11:17 left to go, Manheim Township gets the football back. Again, it was a low snap. It went right off the left ankle of Mason Young. He had no chance to catch it. Ball squirted free, and Max Kolbrenner, defensive tackle, was there to jump on it, and Manheim Township has the football. That's the 39-yard line.
That's not just the first snap error for Wilson. They've had 3 on punts go over the punter almost. Or one did go over the punter's head, but, this is fundamentals. You got to get the snap down.
First and 10 again for Manheim Township. Kinniff going to roll out to his left. He had 3 receivers that way, looking for somebody deep. Nothing there. Goes back the other way for Dixon. He gets popped by Carpenter immediately after making the catch. Pass good for a gain of just 1 yard, but Darius Dixon took a stick from Jaden Carpenter.
Yeah, he did a heck of a job holding on to that ball because Carpenter did lower his shoulder and let him feel that one.
That is catch number 7 in the game for Dixon, but he's a little bit slow to walk back to the huddle.
So there's 11 minutes, 10 seconds left in this game. After 3 quarters, Township time of possession, Bob, 24 minutes, 43 seconds. Wilson, 11 minutes and 17 seconds. That's a telling story there.
So they actually spot the football back at the original line of scrimmage, so it's no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. There was a flag on the play, but Wilson is against Manheim Township for an illegal man downfield. Wilson declines the penalty. So they'll take the play at 2nd and 10. Again, Dixon split out to the right, 2 receivers for Kniff on his left. He's got a back on each side of him as well. Looks quick hitter for Dixon. Dixon makes the catch, avoids the hit this time for Carpenter. Tripped up right around the midfield stripe, and if he got that far, looks like he has enough for a 1st down. He does.
Again, that play there, that's almost like a quick fake, almost like play action, quick fake, like he's going to hand it on a quick dive, stands up and throws a quick hitch route to Dixon into the boundary. Dixon enough, almost, just short of the 1st down. He's a yard shy.
Good. Be 3rd and a yard for Manheim Township as the ball, will call it at the 48-yard line. They need to get the 49 to pick up the 1st down. Give is to Fernandez. Fernandez will get the 1st down as he flips it from his 49 to the Wilson 49. 1st down, Blue Streaks. Their 4th of this half. And 12th of the football game. 1st and 10 for Manheim Township. They're now on the Wilson 49-yard line.
Really nice hard running up the middle by Fernandez. He's been carrying a load, been consistent. Blue Streaks had 95 yards rushing in the 1st half, and they're piling up here in the 2nd, running time off the clock.
Fernandez had a career-high 249 yards last week against Penn Manor on 23 carries. His 21st of the night tonight, and officially with 81 yards right now as we're at 9:38 left to go in the football game. 1st and 10 at the 49. Fernandez going to get another carry here, but he won't get much. And there's Brownback again. Those two have been dance partners all night long. And back at the 50 and a loss of a yard, I'll put it 2nd and 11.
Yeah, great tackle for loss there by Brownback. Brownback's got a nose for the football, and he dug that one out for sure.
So they spot the football back at midfield, so it'll be 2nd and 11. Again, Manheim Township trying to take their time while they can. As Kniff comes to the sidelines, gets the play call as what they want to do. He'll send Simon Dumser out to the left. Darius Dixon will come out to the right. And Alan Feliciano is on a slot to the left side. Taylor Velu, the H-back, is on a wing on the left side with Fernandez in the backfield. And Kniff wants to throw for a little hitch route for Feliciano, and it's incomplete and almost intercepted on the deflection. Went through the hands of Feliciano, and back there was Carell Akings. Tried to make a diving catch, couldn't quite come up with it. Incomplete, makes it 3rd down.
So Kniff ended up going to the wide side of the field on that, and what happened was they're playing cover 3. They walked a linebacker out underneath of Dixon. They're worried about Dixon now, this short side of the field, this quick hitting hitch route. So they ended up walking the linebacker out in cover 3 and threw it to the field, and just overthrew it there on that play by Kniff to his secondary receiver.
Snaps a string of 7 straight completions for Kniff, puts Manheim Township in a 3rd and 11. Kniff has time. Again, underneath route. Pass caught by Feliciano and brought down immediately. Wilson comes up with a big play defensively, and it's Brownback again making the tackle on Feliciano from behind. A gain of a 2. It will put Manheim Township in a 4th down and about 9 to pick up the 1st down.
Yeah, 2 shallow crosses from opposite crossing. Right in the middle of the field, and the linebackers for Wilson did a really nice job sitting back in zone, coming up, making that tackle. Nice job by Brownback.
So it will force Manheim Township to punt the football. Aiden Zulik is the punter. Carell Akings is the return man for Manheim Township. Got to be conscious of a fake here just because of the spot on the field. 8 minutes left to go in the football game. Zulik will kick it away. And Akings will let it roll inside the 10 and come to a stop at about the 8. Just checking to see, make sure there was no contact with the punter. There's no flag down on the field, so it looks like everything is clean, and Wilson will get the football. 7:48 left to go. A 20-14 advantage for Manheim Township. Bulldogs have the football deep in their own territory, starting inside the 10 at the 9. So Wilson trying to overcome the mistake. They got it into Manheim Township territory before they fumbled it on the bad snap.
Akings back out there as the tailback, sidecar left of Mason Young. Can't make a mistake in this spot in the field. Akings will hand it off for Glover. Glover trying to get upfield, won't get much. He'll get across the 10 to about the 12. Gain of 3 from Michael Glover.
Nice run there by Glover, coming in motion, handing off, running into the boundary. Akings, the lead blocker there, number 23, getting up the field for a short gain of 3.
A little bit of a role reversal with Akings blocking for Glover. 2nd and 7.
That's a mismatch.
Go
and
again.
See it again.
Same thing. Exactly. And Glover turns the corner across the 15 this time.
Great block there by Akings, too. Got a hat on a hat there and sprung Glover there for the first down.
He's warming up to the challenges, Carell Akings, and it looks like it will be enough and is enough for Wilson to move the sticks. So back-to-back gives to Michael Glover on the jet sweep, and Wilson moving the football now out to the 19-yard line on the 7-yard run. This time, not much doing this time. Glover again on the carry, and the Manheim Township Blue Streaks will wrap him up. Gain of maybe a yard to the 20, and that's it.
That play was more of an inside. It was a handoff to Glover, but inside. It was more of a trap. Took more center guard gap, and the Blue Streaks were there to wrap him up.
So second ball at 9 for the Wilson Bulldogs at their own 20-yard line. 6:50 left to go in the football game. Bulldogs down 6. Again, Glover lined up wing on the right side. Ball on the left hash. Young scans the defense, takes the snap, looking left, now looking right, looking for Glover, and he takes a pop as he catches the football.
What a catch. What a catch in traffic. It was, again, they came back to that Y-stick combination where you got Glover on an out route, you got a flat route, and then outside receiver runs a go. That was bang, bang there. I'm surprised Glover brought that in. I mean, that's a great – that's a big play and big catch there to get it closer to the sticks, and then you got third and a short 3.
From the 26-yard line. After he's have to get to the 29 to move the chains. 6 minutes left to go in the football game. Glover again on the wing on the right side. It's been a Glover show so far, but this time it's going to be Akings. Akings, nothing there, but he's going to turn it into something. 35-40, and Carell Akings out of bounds out near the Manheim Township 40-yard line. A flag down late on the play after Carell Akings runs for a Bulldog first down at about the 40-yard line.
Only needed 3. He started that off a little bit of a delay. He was hiding behind his offensive line. All of a sudden, he shoots out untouched down the Blue Streak sidelines and pushed out of bounds all the way down to their 44-yard line.
Now the question is, what's the call on the play? It was behind the Manheim Township defense is where the flag came from. Jim Kemp, a long walk. It's going to be a hold against Wilson. The Bulldogs again. So another holding penalty is going to wipe out another first down for Wilson.
First down, Wilson.
So it looks like it's downfield enough that Wilson will get a first down. It's at the 30-yard line. So they only needed 3 yards to get the first down. So it is 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. It's 5:50 left to play in the football game. Handoff backfield. It's Glover trying to turn the corner. Glover gets a block. Glover across the 35 and bumped out of bounds. So they lined up Glover as a back in a backfield with Akings on one side of Young and Glover on the other, and they hand it off to Michael Glover, who runs it across the 35 to the 36 and gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
Bob, this kid Glover's a junior. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, tight end, defensive end. He's getting the ball handed to him, showing his speed, into the boundary, run into the boundary, the short side of the field, turns his shoulders, gets his shoulders north and south, and still gets up the field for 7 yards. Great run by Glover.
To the 37-yard line. Clock at 5:43. Here's Akings following Glover up the middle. So the same look, but this time they go right up the middle with Glover leading the way for Akings for what looks like another first down for Wilson at the 40-yard line.
Yeah. Jeremy Palm and company are doing a nice job keeping the Blue Streaks off balance with their formations and their play calling here, mixing it up between Akins and Glover, who's getting the ball, who's in motion, who with the handoffs. I mean, really nice.
1st and 10 at the 40. Clock at 5:20 and counting. Turn around, they'll hand it off out of a pistol set for Akings. Flags all over the place as Akings is wrapped up and buried for a loss back at about the 38-yard line. But again, 2 flags thrown on the play, both behind the Wilson offense.
I don't know if it's holding against Wilson. I mean, there were like 5 blue streaks there that wrapped Akins up almost behind the line of scrimmage. So I didn't. If there was holding,
They're not doing a very good job.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, it wasn't a good job of holding, for sure.
So, well, they declined the penalty, take the play, which was a loss of a yard or two. Well, nope, they're going to hold. They'll take the penalty and mark them back to 10 yards. So it'll make it 1st and 20 now for the Bulldogs. Been a costly night tonight in the penalty category for the Wilson Bulldogs, and they're now backed up in a 1st and 20 at their own 30. Young, play action fake, looking for the hitch and go. He's got Damian Greer for a completion into Manheim Township territory at the Blue Streak 45-yard line.
Really nice play action pass there to Damian Greer from Mason Young. Mason Young threw that on a rope, and Greer looked over his shoulder, and the ball was there in his hand before he turned his head around. I mean, just great throw and catch. First down for the Wilson Bulldogs.
8 straight completions for the second half for Mason Young, and he's now got his team in the 45-yard line of Manheim Township. 4:42 left to go in the football game. Bulldogs are down 6. Give is to Akins. Has a hole, closes quickly as he's wrapped up and brought down. First contact was Max Kolbrenner, wrapping up Akins for a gain of 2 to the 43. It's not a whole lot for Carell Akins to find his way. His best run, unfortunately for him, was called back on that holding penalty. Braden Farrell is out there as another tight end for Wilson. He's on the left side of the line of scrimmage with Michael Glover in his traditional wing right spot. 2 receivers for Mason Young on the right as well. The give is to Akins. No, it's Harding in there as the back. Harding looking for daylight, finally finds a little bit of a crease, and Ethan Harding will run it to the 40 and a gain of 3 more.
Yeah, some hard-fought yards there by Harding off tackle to the right. You know, it was trips to the field. You had Glover at the tight end position or in the slot coming down blocking for him, and just some hard-fought yards there by Harding.
Clock continues to run. 3:35 left to go in the football game. 3rd down and 5 for Wilson. They're at the Manheim Township 40-yard line. Mason Young, first-year starter. Has Damian Greer split out to his left. He's got Jaden Carpenter split out to his right. Play action fake, a little underneath route for Farrell. Farrell has the catch, has the first down inside the 30. Spun down at the Manheim Township 29-yard line.
Yeah, had 2 tight ends set there. You had Farrell at tight end, and then you had Glover offset right behind him. Glover came in motion. Little play action pass thrown to Farrell for a nice first down catch.
Farrell a little bit shaken up after the plays. Actually, I think their helmets got tangled up. Darius Dixon was on the tackle, and I think his helmet and Braden Farrell's helmets got tangled up. So the officials had to do a little equipment repair work to untangle them at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Clock now closing close to 3 minutes left to go in the football game. Winner takes the section title and maybe flips their position a little bit in the District 3 6A power rankings. Give is to Harding. Harding kicks it outside. 25, 20 and out of bounds on what's a little bit shy of the first down on a kick out by Ethan Harding.
Yeah, great vision there by Harding. He had a big hole up the middle coming off of Glover. Glover came inside on a trap, kicking out a linebacker. Harding saw that, dipped inside, dipped outside, and used his speed to get outside on the perimeter for a gain of 8 yards.
Stepped out of bounds at the 21. 2:58 left to play. 2nd down and 2 for the Bulldogs. Glover shifts from left side to right. They're going to hand it off to him. On the sweep, Glover takes it inside to the 15-yard line. That's a first down. I'm not sure if it was supposed to go to Glover, but if it was a fake, Glover wasn't giving it back.
Yeah, no, I think that was 100% going to Glover. Glover, if he would have kept his eyes up, he looks like he had a cutback, and he may have had a touchdown. But he nevertheless, great hard-fought first down run there by Glover.
4 more yards on the gain for Michael Glover. 4 more downs for Wilson as well. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Blue Streak 17-yard line. 2:32 left to play. Right back to the ground game of Harding. Harding finds a gap. Harding's inside the 10-yard line. First down, goal to go.
Follow Michael Glover, and you will find the ball. Nice run. Nice run there by Harding. One of Harding's best runs tonight. Just putting his foot in the ground, going north and south, getting those extra yards, lowering his pad level.
He's a little bit shy. I thought he had the first down. He does not. They're going to spot him down at the 9, so it's 2nd down and 2. So a big run there for Harding as he quickly found that gap. He'll stay in there as the tailback. 2nd and 2 from the 9. Here's the handoff for Glover on the jet sweep. The ball's punched out of his hands. It rolls back to the 20-yard line and out of bounds. So we'll see where they spot the football, but it was punched out of the hands of Michael Glover and eventually run down out back to the 21-yard line. Wilson is going to lose about 12 yards on the play. Well, keep the football.
Big play there by the Blue Streaks, knocking that ball loose. Glover was coming in motion into the boundary on a sweep, being led by Harding, lead blocking. So now we got 3rd and 14.
Back at the 21-yard line. Need to get to the 7 to move the chains. 1:20 left to go. Glover shifts out to his left side as a wide receiver. Young, all kinds of time. Nothing open. Finds himself some time. Going to run right. Is he going to find him an open? Here comes the flags as Young will run with it. Tripped up across the 15-yard line down to about the 14, but a bunch of flags thrown behind Wilson's offensive line.
Nice job extending the play there by Young. Scrambling around. Eyes downfield was looking, great job by Township covering the Wilson receivers. They had great coverage on that play, and Young could just not find the open man and ended up using his feet all the way down. It looks like got the ball all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, but it is a hold against Wilson. So Manheim Township is going to back the Bulldogs up even more now. They were at the 9, then back to the 21 on the fumble. And now assuming that Manheim Township accepts this penalty, he's going to back them up on the other side of the 30-yard line. 1:07 left to play. If it does, it'll stay 3rd down. Now they are going to walk off the penalty. So it'll be 3rd down and about 24 now, back to the 31-yard line. So the Bulldogs suddenly going in the wrong direction right now. First the fumble and then the penalty. Chase Erb now will check in as a receiver. He's on the left side with Damian Greer and Jaden Carpenter split out to the right. Glover, wing on the left. Harding stays in as the tailback. Sidecar left of Young. 3rd and 24 from the Manheim Township 31. Inside of a minute left to go in the football game. Young, time, looking for somebody open. Can't find anybody. Still has time. Still looking for somebody to get open. Eventually he runs out. Still with his eyes downfield. Now throws back across the middle of the field. It's intercepted. Coming up and picking it off is Luke Wagner. Mason Young just kept trying to extend the play and then threw back against the grain. And Manheim Township will take the interception on the 3rd turnover of the game.
Big play by Luke Wagner. There as Mason Young threw it across his body, back across the field, and nice play by Wagner, intercepting that ball. Looks like it giving the Blue Streaks the win tonight. They've got 35 seconds on the clock, and most likely Wilson's got 3 timeouts, but you'll see some kneel downs here to run the clock out.
That ends a string of 13 straight completions for Mason Young, but you got to give credit to the secondary because he was scrambling around trying to extend that play and just could not find anybody open. And eventually the dangerous play of rolling back to your left and throwing back to the middle of the field. And Wagner steps in front, intercepts it, and the Wilson Bulldogs' reign as Section 1 champions is about to come to an end. As Manheim Township, as Matt said, basically has to take a knee or 2 here, and that should do it. Only question now will be whether or not Wilson calls any timeouts here just to try to extend this.
Mason Young extended the play on the last 2 plays.
Yeah.
Did a nice job with his feet scrambling around, just could not find an open Wilson receiver. And whether that, I'm sure Jeremy Palm and Chad Henney have them practicing the scramble drill where the receivers need to come in the view of the quarterback and try to get open for him to find a lane to throw the ball.
So the Blue Streaks have possession of the football and what looks to be possession of a Section 1 title. And they won it in 2023. Wilson took it back in 2024. But the Blue Streaks, barring a fumble of any kind, are going to take a knee, maybe 2, and run out the clock.
They will head into the District 3 playoffs for what looks to be the number 3 seed. We'll see what damage this does to Wilson. As the handoff is to P.J. Myers, he's quickly wrapped up, and Wilson will call a timeout. So that play lasts just 4 seconds as P.J. Myers is wrapped up for a loss of about 3 yards on the play. Wilson calls its first timeout. So the Bulldogs can still stop it 2 more times. Manheim Township called a timeout in that change of possession as Mark Evans, I think, really just wanted to calm his team down because they were celebrating on the far sideline, and rightfully so based upon what happened. So again, we remind you to stick around. Coming up for our Pizza Como Temple postgame show, Matt Light will be down in the field. He'll have a conversation with winning coach Mark Evans and our Reading Fighting Phil's player of the game. As the Manheim Township Blue Streaks are a couple of snaps away from victory and running the table in Section 1 of the Lancaster 11 League and running their record to 9-1. Wilson will finish the regular season at 8-2. Again, both these two teams will get a bye in the first round of the District 3 playoffs. The give is to Myers. Myers picking his way back up across the 35, back to what they lost on the first down. Picks up maybe a yard back the other way. And Wilson will call its second timeout with 25 seconds left to go. So Doug Doms is going to take every second he can, every snap he can, force Manheim Township hoping the Blue Streaks will make a mistake, but to this point they have not. There has not been a turnover by Manheim Township. Wilson has made and had 3 turnovers. The 2 interceptions by Mason Young and the fumble on that bad snap. And how big was that play? Because the Bulldogs were in a position of trying to drive for a score. They were inside the 40-yard line of Manheim Township on a 2nd and 7 at the 36 on that bad snap. And they put together that long drive, that just ended in that interception. Wilson started at its own 9-yard line. Picked up 6 first downs along the way, got themselves all the way down inside the 10, but then had the fumble that, fortunately for them, rolled out of bounds. They kept possession. But then the penalty and then the interception ends the drive, and Manheim Township will take another snap here. And a direct snap for Dixon. He's trying to find some daylight, keeps his feet across the 40, 45, and close to a first down. If he got the first down, then Wilson doesn't have any choice anymore, but Wilson's trying to force them into a 4th down situation. And I believe they will be short. Now, there is a Manheim Township player down on the field. So Dixon comes up a yard short. Not sure the number of the Blue Streak player who was shaken up on the play, but it does look like it's one of their linemen. So it's going to be 4th down and 1 as Dixon came up just short. So now if you're the Blue Streaks, do you just run another play here? If you don't get the first down, Wilson gets the ball back with only seconds left. Do you run the risk of punting the football and getting the punt blocked? That's what Doug Doms is trying to do.
Or do you pooch punt it?
You just, right. You
line up with your offense and pooch punt it.
Right. Because it's 4th and less than a yard. They're about their own 45-yard line. Well, Mark Evans has a lot more time to think about it, unfortunately for him, because of the injured player, who is now sitting up and getting up. And it is their center, Rowan Ocker, who is hurt. So now you also have that to play into the issue is your center is out. So you're going to have somebody new snapping the football. He has some assistants walking off the field, having a little trouble putting some weight on that right ankle or knee. But it's 4th and less than a yard at we'll call it the 45-yard line of Manheim Township. It's really, football's really across that. They've got to get to the 46. They are going to line up for it here. They're going to put Kniff under center and use the quarterback snake. And Wilson jumped. They went with a hard count, and the Bulldogs jumped off sides.
And that will give Manheim Township the first down they needed, and it will give them the section title as well. So they just put Kniff under center. They went with a hard count, and the Bulldogs jumped. So the officials still haven't spotted this yet, just making sure that it was not drawn off sides. No, Manheim Township moved. So they're going to say that Manheim Township moved and drew them off sides. So now they're going to have to punt the football because it's 4th and about 6. So the pulse is rapid but still beating for the Wilson Bulldogs with 15 seconds left to play.
I haven't been keeping track. How many penalties have we had in this game?
Well, at least
20.
18, with a couple of them declined. 19 plus a couple decline. So they're going to punt the football. Wilson's got a shot here. Can the Bulldogs go after the punter? Punter is Aiden Zulik.
We're one penalty shy of 20 for the game.
He gets it off. It's a high, short kick. And we'll stop at about the 41-yard line. 7 seconds left to play. Wilson will get a possession here. And they will start at the 41 or 42-yard line. Looks like we'll call it the 42. So Mason Young with at least one more chance here. Can they hit the home run? They're down 6. Glover obviously will be out there as a receiver. Jaden Carpenter is out there. Chase Erb is out there. They're going to put Akings out as a slot receiver with Harding in the backfield. Mason Young with one last conversation with Jeremy Palm and Chad Henne. From his own 42-yard line. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Time. Steps away from the pressure. Steps up. Steps away from the pressure. Loops around. Back. Throws. And it's going to be picked off again. Threw it way up in the air, and it's intercepted by Feliciano, and that will do it. One more interception to add to it for the stat column for the Manheim Township Blue Streaks. As they hold on, they come to West Lawn. They win the football game, and they win the Lancaster Levelly Section 1 title. Your final score, Manheim Township 20, Wilson 14. Back with our Pizza Como Temple postgame show right after this on WEEU in Reading.
Spots Insurance Group is a proud sponsor of Berks County sports. We're an award-winning nationwide agency you can trust, insuring what means most to you for over 32 years. We specialize in auto, home, renters, business, and life insurance. Remember, when you think insurance, think Spots. Visit us at spotsforinsurance.com. That's SPOTTS, 4, insurance.com.
Hey, football fans, tackle your mornings with me, Mike Keller, along with Bob McCool and Trey Smith every weekday from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. Coming up this week on Monday at 8:05, we'll talk Birds and Giants with Sports Illustrated Eagles beat reporter Ed Kratz. Then Wednesday in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be joined by Classic Harley-Davidson's Matt Jackson to talk about the Toys for Tots kickoff celebration. And on Thursday, it's the Morning Pint brought to you by Pagoda City Brewing. The guys from Not Pizza Canned Cocktails stop by. It's Mornings with Mike, weekdays from 6 to 9, right here on WEEU.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
To find out how WEU can be your affordable advertising partner, call 610-345-7338.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 800-848-0300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Updating your furniture and appliances? The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County can help. The Restore offers free pickup of your gently used furniture and appliances from your Berks County home. We offer convenient scheduling for our free pickups through our website, restoreberks.org. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. You might just find that special thing to tie the room together at the Restore. Support your community with your donation to the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County.
Welcome to the Pizza Como postgame show. Pizza Como is a family-owned business going strong on a Fifth Street Highway for over 50 years. Serving the finest Italian dishes, Berks County's best variety of Italian sandwiches, and legendary pizza. Right next door is The Yard, a virtual golf experience to keep your game sharp all year round. And if you love sports cards and memorabilia, stop in to buy, sell, or trade. Pizza Como and The Yard, 4600 Fifth Street Highway in Temple. Well, they always say that art is in the eye of the beholder, and depending upon your perspective in this football game, it's either a work of art if you're the Manheim Township Blue Streaks or not much of a work of art if you're Wilson. Bulldogs made a lot of mistakes in this football game between turnovers and penalties, and Manheim Township took advantage of it, and they take the Section 1 title. Jack Kinniff and the Manheim Township Blue Streaks get the job done. A touchdown run for Kinniff, a touchdown pass for Kinniff, and right now the Blue Streaks are celebrating with their student body and their fans who made the trip up from Neffsville in Lancaster County. Again, Wilson went to Manheim Township last year in Week 10. We had that game for you as well, and the Bulldogs took care of business convincingly in that win last year over Manheim Township. Manheim Township gets the win here, maybe not quite as convincingly, but still, nonetheless, the Blue Streaks never trailed in this football game. It started with the field goal by Rowan Crispino. Then they added to it on the touchdown run for Kinniff. Wilson got a little bit of momentum back with that big play to Michael Glover before halftime to get it to a 10-7 game. But the Blue Streaks got a touchdown to start the third quarter. On the first possession of the third quarter, Manheim Township took the ball and went 8 plays, 65 yards, with Kinniff hitting Devin Luano on a little 3-yard out pass in the end zone for the score. Crispino's extra point was good. It made it 17-7. Bulldogs finally got the football to start the third quarter, and they made the most of it, drove 9 plays and 79 yards with Monty Greer going in on a 13-yard jet sweep to get the Bulldogs right back to within 17-14. Manheim Township got themselves back down and got another field goal from Crispino on a short field to work with. Bulldog defense held them to just a field goal, but Manheim Township with that 20-14 lead came up with a couple of turnovers at the end, and they get the W by a final score of 20-14. So again, Manheim Township wins Section 1 of the Lancaster-Lebanon League and moves on into District 3 playoffs, more than likely as the 3 seed. Central York was the 2 seed. Manheim Township did play Central York early on in the season, and they won it by a final score of 36-28 in that victory. And the irony of all of that is that Wilson will add Central York onto its schedule next season. The Lancaster-Lebanon League will work with the York Adams League in Section 1. There will be some crossover games with Section 1 teams in the York Adams League, and Wilson will play Central York as a byproduct of that. That should be a great game next year, no matter where it is. It also could be, depending on how the district playoff brackets unfold, it could be a possible semifinal. But right now, the way that would unfold, Wilson would be the 4 seed, with Harrisburg right now the 1 seed, and Central York and Manheim Township the 2 and 3. But again, all of the figuring has to happen. And of course, that's pending upon Central York winning their game against York High in their matchup tonight. Central York, last we heard, was on top in that game. Well, all of those scores and all the scores involving Berks County teams as well as the District 3 scores, all of it will be on our scoreboard show. Jeff Noel and Matt Knob will have all of that when our coverage here in West Lawn is finished. They'll run down all the scores. And also Rod Frisco and Eric Epler will be on as well. They'll run down the district playoffs as how things look. That's coming up between 11 and 11:30 tonight. So it's certainly worth listening to the scoreboard show tonight to find out all the scores and find out what might be lying ahead in District 3 playoffs. And ultimately, we'll figure it out as well once all the brackets are set. Now, a good portion of the Berks County teams are going to get a bye in the first round of district playoffs. Wilson will get a bye. Twin Valley, who I'm missing, will also get buys in the District 3 playoffs. Berks Catholic will as well. And we'll find out who all is in. Muhlenberg and Exeter should be playing next Friday night. We'll see who else might be playing next Friday night, where our microphones and cameras will be next Friday night in the first round of the District 3 playoffs. We will be somewhere bringing you high school football as Week 11 rolls forward here in 2025. Mike Lytle down on the field looking for the opportunities. Mark Evans is now done talking with his kids. Again, they spent some time celebrating on the field. So Matt is looking for Mark Evans, and our Reading Fighting Phils player of the game. We'll tell you who that is. As Reading Fighting Phils, again, remind you that they're all new Redner's Event Center at First Energy Stadium. The R Phils remind you to have your next sports team banquet in the R Phils, all new Redner's Event Center banquet and meeting facility at First Energy Stadium. Whether it's a sports banquet, a wedding, a corporate meeting or event, or any charity fundraiser, dinner, the number one place for events in Berks County for groups of 40 to 1,000. The all-new Redner's Event Center at the R Phils. Go to rphils.com/events for more information. So Matt Lytle is working his way and trying to get Mark Evans, and now Coach Evans sees Matt Lytle. Matt, when you got the coach, take it away.
Down this way a little more. How far do you need?
Oh, Matt getting everybody away. His players are all hanging around. Coach Evans is there as well. So just a moment of delay. Coach Evans getting some congratulations from some of his friends and family in the area. So in just a moment, Matt and Coach Evans will have their postgame.
Coach Evans, Matt Lytle, WEEU, congratulations on a huge Section 1 title win. I got to tell you, I'm sure you're proud of your kids. How do you think that the game plan? How do you think they executed on the game plan this week against the Wilson Bulldogs?
Extremely well. Hats off to my coaches. I thought the guys had a great game plan. They've been working on it for a while, and the kids executed flawlessly. You know, we gave up a couple of big plays that kept things in check for them. I mean, they executed as well. Nothing against them. It's just a heavyweight title fight.
Where does this, in your 14 years coaching, where does this win rank?
Oh, it's at the top. It's one of the top wins. So it's kind of speechless right now, which is unheard of for me.
Totally understand. Halftime, what did you say to the kids?
I asked them if that was good enough. You know, one of the things that we're trying to get across in our standards right now is we don't want to just be good enough. We want to keep pushing that ceiling. And the kids have been responsive to that since Cedar Crest game. I felt like our kids have just continued to climb, and now it's time to grind. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. You mentioned before the game, you've got what, 3 returning starters, and
yeah.
You were proud of your younger underclassmen. Some of the underclassmen that have waited their turn,
mm-hmm.
but really you've got some young leadership. You want to speak to that?
Well, the senior class as a whole, from an experiential standpoint, just didn't have the layers of experience that we had in the last couple of years, but they came in and they took their place at the table, and they've been ultra positive, ultra supportive of each other, holding each other accountable. I couldn't ask for a stronger group of leaders, and that has allowed us to mature as the season has gone on. And, they're developing an identity where they say they're unbreakable. That's what I asked them. What's our team identity? Several weeks ago. And they said, we're unbreakable. I said, resiliency. One of the things we talk about is grit and resiliency. So I don't want to get long-winded here, but
I love it.
There's nothing
kids
right now.
You hit the nail on the head. Grit, resilience, being relentless out on the field. Congrats on a huge section title win. Your team played great tonight, very consistent. Good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Coach Mark Evans of the Manheim Township Blue Streaks as he picks up the win. And Matt talked about it with Mark Evans. I mentioned it before the game started. The great job he has done. This Manheim Township Blue Streak program was always pretty good, but Mark Evans has made them really good. He has taken them to another level and to a point where they are consistently competing, not just for Lancaster 11 League section titles, but also for District 3 championships as well. They're going to make their 19th appearance in the District 3 playoffs in 2 weeks after their bye week. They won the championship in 2017. They beat Cumberland Valley. They were the runner-up in 2022 and 2023, losing to Harrisburg both times. And, of course, Harrisburg won it again last year, beating Wilson in the district championship game a year ago. So
It's familiar territory for these two programs to get here to this week. And as Coach Evans talked about, you talk about going to Wilson and getting over the hump. Let's not forget what Wilson did in Section 1. They had a 68-game straight winning streak at one point in time in Section 1. And I think Matt has caught up with our player of the game, and Jack Kniff. Matt, take it away.
Jack Kniff, Matt Lytle, WEEU. Congrats on a huge win, and coming in here to West Lawn, playing a tough Wilson team. What was the preparation like this week with your team coming in here?
This is the biggest week of practice. Just our mentality, and we know it's a big game. So we just had a different mentality going into this week. A lot of energy. Music always playing in the background, but really just setting that mentality to, this is a big game and we got to capitalize.
You've had a lot of 3-touchdown performances this year, throwing the ball through the air. And tonight you were, I think, 14 of 26 for 150 yards passing, a 1-touchdown pass, but you were using your feet a bunch tonight. Was that part of the game plan that you're going to have to make some plays with your feet?
Yeah, I think definitely part of the game plan, but just trying to get it done any way we can, and whatever's needed in that moment. Just if I need to throw the ball through the air, if I need to go on the ground, just whatever in the moment, I think is really what happened.
A couple questions I have for you. So if you could give your younger self advice, what would it be?
Just keep working. And I think that, just head down, and I was a little disappointed with last year, and just keep my head down, keep working, and just always having a strong mentality, and just, keep pushing. And if you keep pushing, it'll all turn out right in the way it's supposed to be.
Being relentless and perseverance, right? I'll take that from your coach. This team is definitely relentless. You guys persevere, and what do you say? You guys are unbreakable?
Yeah, that's the term we've kind of used, because apparently we don't want to blow anyone out. We just want to keep it tight all the time. So, but yeah, I think we're a bunch of dogs, and just, unbreakable is a great word to describe us. Always pushing through and making sure we come out with a W.
Everybody's got dreams. I had dreams as a little kid. I'm sure you had dreams. I think of Kenny Chesney, Boys of Fall. So growing up, what's been your dream?
That's a wide topic, but I think this year, if we're just focusing on this year, I think the dream is a district championship, and I think that's a collective dream that we have as a team. Just keep striving for a district championship.
I love that dream and a goal that you guys have in your future. Last question for you: do you have an idol or a mentor?
Hayden Johnson. He played quarterback here 2 years ago. He's an absolute beast. I guess that's kind of crazy for me to say that, but he was a big mentor, just coming in as a sophomore, and he was a great guy to look up to. He always did the right thing, and just played the game the right way, and I think he was someone I look up to.
Outstanding. Well, I can tell you waited your turn to play quarterback here for the Blue Streaks. Keep staying consistent, keep persevering, and playing with a lot of grit. Nice job tonight, and enjoy this Section 1 win.
Great job by Matt Lytle and Maggie McCroll climbing around and getting everybody lined up and getting the interviews done down the field. If you missed any of it, you can see and hear those interviews on all of our social media channels for WEU on X, on Instagram, and on Facebook, as they're all put together, and they'll be up tonight before midnight tonight. You'll be able to see those interviews. Of course, they'll be up all weekend, and our broadcast is as well on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. The Exeter at Conestoga Valley game said they got a chance to, after the game was over with, they all kind of got together and watched it and reviewed it themselves and really appreciated the coverage, thought it was great stuff. So we appreciate that as well. One last piece of work to do here, and that is our play of the game, brought to you by Celebration Villa of Exeter. Celebration Villa of Exeter is continuing their September incentive through the month of October. Families that sign on by October 29th will receive 50% off rent for November and December. Get settled in your new home before winter sets in. Enjoy the holidays have to offer at Celebration Villa of Exeter. Current availability is limited. Send direct referrals to Natalie today. And our play of the game ended up being early on in the third quarter. Well, not really early on, really close to halfway through the third quarter, but it was the first drive of Manheim Township in that quarter. They got a big play to get them down to the 3-yard line on a hookup between Jack Kniff and Darius Dixon. And on 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line, they brought in the guy who is their middle linebacker, Devin Luano. They brought him in as an extra
wing, an extra tight end, and they just kind of slid him off the line of scrimmage. And on a play action fake, Kniff had all the time in the world, and Luano just snuck into the end zone, and the completion for the touchdown pass was ultimately the difference maker in the game, because that made it a 17-7 game. Wilson get back to score, make it 17-14. Blue Streaks got another field goal, and that was it. But that 17-7 lead ultimately proved to be enough, as Wilson was never overcome it, and Manheim Township wins this game from start to finish by a score of 20-14. We'll take one more timeout. We'll be back and run through all that scoring and wrap it up and send things back to our scoreboard show when we conclude our broadcasting more of the Pizza Como Temple postgame show. We get back to West Lawn after this.
Hey, Berks County, Chick-fil-A Catering makes game day even better. Choose from a variety of trays, including Chick-fil-A nuggets, mac and cheese, and chocolate chunk cookies. Perfect for your next gathering. Place your order through the Chick-fil-A app, online, or by calling ahead and pick it up at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Take cooking off your plate this football season and enjoy the perfect spread with Chick-fil-A Catering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all, from residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
Welcome back to our Pizza Como Temple postgame show. Promise you to run through the scoring, and here it is. Wilson had the football to start, was able to pick up a first down and gave it back to Manheim Township. Blue Streaks punted it away. Wilson throws an interception early on. Manheim Township gets the possession in Wilson territory. That was a precursor of things to come. Battle of field position definitely won by Manheim Township tonight. They started at the Wilson 32-yard line, but the drive comes to a stop at 4th and 5 at the 13-yard line, and Mark Evans sends on his junior kicker, Rowan Crispino. The 31-yard field goal was good. It was 3-0 halfway through quarter number one, 5:16 to be exact, and it was 3-0 Manheim Township on top. Bulldogs unable to pick up any first downs. They had to punt the football again, and Manheim Township this time takes over at their 16-yard line. Blue Streaks put together a very solid drive, and it was a 12-play drive that got 11 plays in. They got themselves to the 10-yard line on 1st and goal at the 10. It was Jack Kniff with his legs. He's going to keep it himself off the edge to the 5, takes a pop at about the 3, dives for the end zone. He's going to come up short. No, he's not. Touchdown. Took a hit from Chase Herb, but still got himself in the end zone. A very tough run there for Kniff. As I said on the call, Chase Herb came up and popped him at the 1, but Kniff strong enough to get himself into the end zone for the touchdown. The extra point by Crispino made it a 10-0 game. 8:46 left to go in the second quarter. Wilson got themselves in a position where they turned the ball over again on a punt, and Manheim Township was looking for a knockout blow to finish off this second quarter and head to the locker room. With 1:08 to go, they were driving again. They got it down to a position of inside of a couple minutes left to go. It was 4th and 1 at the 10. Mark Evans opted not to kick the field goal at that point in time, but to go for it. They run it outside to Marcos Fernandez, but a brilliant defensive play made by E.J. Brown back to stuff him. Wilson gets the football back, and a couple plays later, a little bit of a trick play. They looked like they were going to throw a toss to Curl Akings, but the Bulldogs had a trick up their sleeve. And the give is to Akings, trying to turn that right, though it's not as good. It's the other way. And it's in the hands of Glover, and Glover's got free and reign. Michael Glover to foot race to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Bulldogs. And they ran the fake run to Akings right, and then they a little pop pass to Glover coming back the other way, and Glover goes 76 yards for the touchdown, and the Bulldogs are right back in it. 10-7 was our score at halftime. Manheim Township gets the football to start the third quarter. And as I said a little bit ago, Manheim Township put together a very solid drive, ate up a good chunk of the third quarter clock. They got themselves down to a second down after 1st and goal at the 3, come up empty. 2nd and goal from the 3, and Mark Evans designs a play that gets him into the end zone. Play action fake. Kniff will throw and wide open in the end zone. Touchdown Manheim Township. Slipping behind everybody was Devin Luano in there as an extra blocker. Slipped off the line of scrimmage and in wide open for the end zone for the touchdown from 3 yards out.
And that was our Celebration Villa of Exeter play of the game, that little touchdown pass into the end zone from Kenneth to Luano for the score. The extra point by Crispino made it a 17-7 game. Wilson finally gets the ball to start the third quarter, or for the first time in the third quarter, with 7 minutes and change left to go. And the Bulldogs put together a really solid drive, got themselves to a 2nd and goal at the 13-yard line, and they went with the jet sweep and Monty Greer. Greer goes in motion again. They'll hand it off to him on a jet sweep. Needs a block. He's got the 10. He's got the 5 and dives. Is he in? Touchdown, Bulldogs. Monty Greer on the jet sweep will take it in for the score from 13 yards out. Finish off a 9-play, 79-yard drive. The extra point by Preston Oxenrider was a 79-yard drive. The extra point by Preston Oxenrider was good. Made it a 17-14 game with still 21 left to go. But Manheim Township, one more field goal from Crispino, this one from 38 yards out, to make it a 20-14 game with 1:27 left to go in the football game. Wilson had one more chance to do it, but on a 3rd and 24 from the 31-yard line, Mason Young trying to make something happen to try to keep the drive alive for Wilson. Time, looking for somebody open, can't find anybody, still has time, still looking for somebody to get open. Eventually he runs out, still with his eyes downfield, now throws back across the middle of the field, it's intercepted. Coming up and picking it off is Luke Wagner. Mason Young just kept trying to extend the play and then threw back against the grain, and Manheim Township will take the interception on the 3rd turnover of the game. And there was one more interception after that was over with. Ultimately, 3 interceptions on the night for the Blue Streaks and a fumble as well for Wilson on a bad snap. So it was a rough night in that category for the Bulldogs. Manheim Township with a clean slate on the other side, and the Blue Streaks win the football game. Matt Lytle back up in the booth with me tonight. Matt, I'm going to go back to your pregame and your keys to the game tonight before we got started. And you talked about big plays and turnovers. Well, turnover column clearly won by the Blue Streaks tonight. 4 turnovers for Wilson, nothing for Manheim Township. And enough, not a lot of big plays in this game, but enough. And Jack Kenneth was a piece of it. The touchdown run, the big play that got them the 32-yard pass on the jump ball to Dixon that got him to the 3, and then a really well-executed little 3-yard out pass, as you said, probably something they use as a 2-point conversion pass, but that was executed perfectly, and Luana was wide open.
They threw in there because Luano, that was his 2nd catch of the year. So he doesn't 4 turnovers. Wilson still was in the game even with 4 turnovers, and I know 2 of those were late in the end of the game, interceptions. But one play that stuck out to me, and we talk about big plays, you get 3 to 4 big play opportunities. Wilson, Mason Young threw deep down the middle, and I think it was Carpenter, and the ball was a little bit underthrown.
Right.
And was it Fletcher who came back and broke it up?
Yeah.
I think it was Fletcher or Dumser who came back. I think it was Dumser.
Yep.
Dumser came back and knocked the ball, broke the play up. Unfortunately, that's a different ball game too.
Yep.
Carpenter goes in, scores 7, momentum change and everything else. So again, it comes down to turnovers, big plays, and lastly, what blew my mind, Wilson had 11 penalties.
Yeah.
Manheim had 8. But almost 200 yards total. I mean, it was getting out of hand with penalties. So, a little bit, definitely undisciplined, like for a Wilson football team.
Yeah, and we go back to the games we had earlier this season and talking with Doug Domson. I know you talked to him after the Governor Mifflin game, and he talked about it then and the penalties and something we have to clean up. He had nothing but high praise for this team and what they've done so far through week 9 of the season, and rightfully so. They were 8-1. Their lone loss was to Nazareth when Nazareth still had Peyton Falzone and was a state-ranked team as well. But you're committing this many penalties this late in the season. It is very un-Wilson-like, and it's certainly something they're gonna have a week off with a bye week and then figure out where they're going to be in the District 3 playoffs. But this is not something that will sit well with the Wilson coaching staff. They short-circuited themselves a lot with holding penalties tonight.
Coach Toms is in that school. He knows discipline is a big thing for him. They had 11 penalties for 112 yards. Manheim had 8 for 70. 112 yards, that's a lot of yards for penalties. That alone will hurt you.
And there were a couple that were declined.
I
hate to throw a plate on top of your pile, but there were a couple that were declined.
All in all, there was about 20 some penalties in a game like this, which it takes away the momentum for a team and slows it down. They overcome some of those, But when you have that many turnovers and you have that many penalties, it's hard to overcome that type of undisciplined-like play.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for our coverage. The Manheim Township Blue Streaks are now 9-1 on the season. They run the table in Section 1 and win the section title with a 6-0 record. Wilson finishes the regular season at 8-2 and 5-1 in the section. Again, both these two teams will have a bye week next week in the District 3 6A playoffs. Wait and figure out who they're going to play and who they'll be playing in a couple of weeks. And we will do the same. We'll figure out where we're going to be next Friday night in terms of our coverage as well. Don't forget, Philadelphia 76ers, Charlotte Hornets for you tomorrow night here on WEEU. 7:30 is tip-off on the Sixers' home debut for the new season. And then Sunday afternoon, it's the Eagles at home against the New York Giants. Merrill Reese and Mike Quick will have the call of that one for you at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Eagles and Giants here on WEEU. And again, next Friday, high school football at a sites and teams to be announced once we figure it all out over the course of the weekend. Thanks to Drew Kaufman, the athletic director here at Wilson High School, for the hospitality here at Wilson. Before we sign off.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff. I want to ask, I don't know if I missed it. Wyomissing was up 25-0 at half. Did we get a final score?
I did not hear it, but we'll find that out.
Find out,
throw
Jeff.
Things back to the WEEU studio. No pressure, boys.
Looking forward to hearing from you, Jeff.
But thanks to the guys back in the WEEU studios. Our producer back in the WEEU studios, Kyle Rudart, keeping the show on the road. And, of course, here at Wilson High School, Sean Tansky, our technical director. Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob with a very busy scoreboard on the final week of the season. They'll tell you all the scores hanging on tonight here on a Friday night. They'll be rolling their way up until 11:30 tonight. For my colleague, Matt Lytle, my name is Bob McCool. Thanks for listening and watching high school football on WEEU. Manheim Township wins it over Wilson 20-14. Have yourselves a great weekend, everyone.
This has been High School Football, presented by Savage Auto Group on 830 WEEU.
High school sports on WEEU is brought to you in part by Chick-fil-A, Celebration Villa of Exeter, Diefenbach Snacks, the Coley Insurance Group, Keith Heating and Air Conditioning, Habitat for Humanity Restore, Overhead Door Company, Render's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, Lincoln Plumbing, and